neka sudi, pjevat ćemo ljudi. Ne boj se rogova ni lažnih bogova, šta nam mogu lanjski snjegovi. Ne boj se tragova ričućih labova, šta će crni oblak planini. Kad zapjevam partija mi sudi, neka sudi, pjevat ćemo ljudi. Ne boj se rogova ni lažnih bogova, šta nam mogu lanjski snjegovi. Ne boj se tragova ričućih labova, šta će crni oblak planini.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 10 of PodroomTV. Already 10 episodes. The time has absolutely flown. We're into spring here in Australia officially. The weather has improved, maybe not so much yesterday in Melbourne, but it is getting warmer. It is getting easier to get up in the mornings, and it is easier to stay up a little bit later because the days are longer. But joining me again, as always, Rob Spoiler. Welcome, Rob.
Thank you very much. It's beautiful to be here in the Podroom as per usual. I can't believe that we've actually hit double figures, episode 10.
Some said would never make it.
They said we'd never make it, just like Ben Lixon. But here we are, celebrating Croatian community and a massive week actually in the community. So much happening overseas and here. So much to talk about. So many guests. I'm really actually afraid of the amount of guests that we've got today because I reckon we might be here till about 1 o'clock in the morning, given precedence. But
yeah, Thursday, I reckon by Thursday night, I thought we wouldn't even have one guest. Right, Thursday night, I was thinking we're not even going to get one. By this from midday today, I received, I don't know, about 5 flyers, messages, information about events that are taking place. Everything sort of just, you know what it is when you've always got when you've got something to do, everything sort of hits you at once. When you're doing nothing, you get nothing. That's right. That Murphy's Law. But today, I was out and about doing a course, and all of a sudden, all these messages came flooding in. It's fantastic. People are reaching out from all over Australia, from New South Wales, from all over. Overseas, we've got some clips from overseas from last night. Zlatne Strune in Požega, the festival of tamburaši, took place last night.
Zlatne Žice,
there you go.
Slavonia. Yes, I went there. I remember 25 years ago. I saw Dražen Zečić there.
Ooh, Zeko.
Yeah, he was there on the Zabava night. Because they got a couple of nights. I don't know if they still works that way. There was one they had that folklorashi one night, and Zaba and the Musica on the other night. But fantastic, massive crowds. A lot of stock cola going around. I remember back 25 years ago. Yeah, I don't know if anyone drinks that anymore.
That's 69 as well. But so we've got some clips there of a couple of well-known musical personalities who send their regards, and a little couple of clips of some music from courtesy of Stepan Takac, famous DJ down here in Melbourne. So he was kind enough to reach out last night, and he got a media pass, I believe, and went backstage and got some really good content for us there as well. Other big news, obviously, Dandy City going through the NPL Victoria Grand Final this coming Sunday, 6 o'clock at Lakeside. So playing Heidelberg United, who's on a bit of a roll. So they're in the final of the Australia Cup. They finished second in the NPL overall, and they got through to the final a couple of days earlier against Preston. And that in itself created enough controversy for football in Victoria with all the shenanigans that took place.
All that flares was terrifying.
That's right. I still always go back to that one from Super Soccer Sunday, when the guy rang up and he goes, if they ban flares from soccer, what are us Macedonians supposed to wear for matches? But they bought plenty of flares, both off the field and on the field.
I was actually just thinking about it. It's actually a shame that all these home invasions that have got happening in Melbourne, that people aren't actually AFL fans, these home invaders, because if they were, all we'd have to do is have flares next to your bed and they'd all be too terrified to come into your house.
And other news, obviously, most of us would have already seen, or maybe even got up to watch the Croatia qualifier against the Faroe Islands, which was an absolute struggle and a dog's breakfast of a match. But we got through 1-0 nekako. It was very, very hard to watch. It was honestly looked like a synthetic pitch, I believe. Very hard destination to travel to, Faroe Islands, in the middle of bloody nowhere, probably cold and windy and rubbish, but they got through it. Tomorrow morning, it's in Agora.
Yeah, I was looking at the Faroe Islands. Look, I didn't watch the match, I have to admit, but I did watch the highlights, and there was a couple of good chances of Croatia. And you know what? The goal that they scored was nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful goal Kramaric scored. I thought it was a beautiful build-up, and a little flick on from Budimir was a great goal. One of the biggest concerns that I saw from that game, I didn't watch the game, the biggest concern for me is that the infrastructure in the Faroe Islands shits on that of Croatia. That's what I found very, very disturbing.
No, exactly. Not a bad little boutique stadium there for a population of 50,000 or whatever lives there. It's a rock in the middle of the sea above the UK. Bush, such a way. Ante Delia, UFC debut in Zagreb. So in the heavyweight category, I believe he's now ranked in the top 10. So he got a first round knockout against some chubby Polish bloke. Didn't look particularly fit. Yeah, he wasn't some ripped monster. This bloke looked like he was straight out of a pub working in Luton or something, because most Polish people live in the UK these days. Looked like he'd been on the pots and the sort of bangers and mash, but he took him out in the first. But there was some controversy out of the ring, where I believe that Stosic, another fighter who was fighting on the night, his camp was celebrating his victory. They threw a bottle into the crowd. From what I read or what I understood, that it hit Mirko Krokop Filipovic's son, who wears glasses, and Filipovic got upset because he thought if it broke the glasses, could have lost his vision. And it came to some sort of fisticuffs afterwards. So unsavoury scenes, but it is UFC. What happens in the ring happens out the ring as well, mate, most of these.
Speaking of overweight Polish people, how did Strathmore go against Sunshine Eagles?
I think they lost.
Okay.
I think they lost. There was a farewell testimonial.
2-2, was it? There you go.
There was a testimonial for Daz there. I saw him carried off the field, but it was very emotional for the club as a whole, for all of the Strathmore split this weekend.
Yeah, it was a really sad weekend, wasn't it? I mean, and especially because a week before we went over to Strathmore, we were planning on going over because we wanted to interview the late, great Frank Carzo, but we didn't get that opportunity because obviously it was too ill to come out that night. And we wanted to do a little surprise interview, we thought, for posterity. And, we knew that he probably didn't have a long time to go. And unfortunately, we were right. And he died just a few days later. I know you knew him quite well, and that for a very, very long time. You want to talk about that a bit?
I did. Before I do go into that, the late Frank Carzo's funeral is this coming Friday. The funeral service will be this Friday, 12th of September, Our Lady's Parish, 169 Craigieburn Road in Craigieburn. Service will begin with a rosary at 11:30, followed by Requiem Mass. After that, it will move on to the Northern Memorial Park Cemetery at 2 p.m, and you enter via 56 Box Forest Road in Glenroy. So a lot of us do know that cemetery very, very well. Dare say a quarter of it is crows. There's probably just as many crows in Faulkner as there is in Keilor or Williamstown or some of the other places. I know that most of my family is buried there. So, there's a burial will take place at Northern Memorial Cemetery. And in lieu of flowers, the family have made available the option to make a donation to FC Strathmore Split. Envelopes will be made available upon entry to the church. Celebration of the life of Frank Carzo will be held at FC Strathmore Split at Strathnaver Reserve. Enter via Mascoma Street, so everyone will be invited to come down there. But yes, I did know Carzo very, very well for a very, very long time. So I did play my first game for Split in 1985. And I've still got, I don't know if you can see it, I'll bring it closer to the camera, the old Strathmore Split or the old Glenroy Split pennant.
What a logo, by the way.
It is a great logo with the emu and kangaroo with the Federation star in it. H&K Split Soccer Club, which used to be called Split Auto Repairs. So just today I dropped off a flag from another founding member of the club, Kasian Pericic, who passed it on to my dad. Some of the letters had come off. I did put it up on Facebook, and a lot of people thank you for reaching out to get it repaired. So we're getting that fixed so that it can adorn the late Carzo's coffin. But it was originally Split Auto Repairs, major sponsor back in those days in the Industrial League. Yeah, but I did know Carzo all the way through from the early to mid-'80s into the 90s when I played there in the reserves and seniors, and pretty much all the way, like you said, only a couple of weeks ago, the last man standing raffle was on, and he was there, and he stayed till pretty late, even though his health was terrible. He still managed to get down to as many games, and I think it's well over 40 tournaments that he attended. Wow. And he is a member of the Hrvatski Nogometni Savez here, Australia Hall of Fame as well. So he was recognised for his contribution to the not only Strathmore Split or Glenroy Split, but to the wider Croatian community.
Yeah,
Just a
rightly so.
character larger than life. Everyone, he had some sayings that everyone remembers, when someone would do something wrong, go, police be on your eye. He once told me that you were more ugly than the John Howard. He said to me once. But just an absolute character, lived and breathed Split till pretty much his last breath, and he will be very, very fondly remembered by everybody. Welcoming, could be very forthright, but always had that club at heart, and pretty much from his first day to 49 years, Split will be celebrating 50 years next year.
Yeah.
So he has been absolutely instrumental in every one of those years that Split has been in existence. He leaves a massive legacy. His family should be very proud, and the Strathmore Split family and the Croatian community across Australia is very proud of what Rezo has contributed to our community, and we wish his family all the very best and pass on our condolences from everybody in our community.
And I think the wider Strathmore family is devastated by it. I mean, everyone was just completely affected by it. How can you not be? He was a part of the furniture there for 49 years, and it is a bit of a shame that he couldn't make it to the 50th anniversary next year, which is going to be a massive celebration. But his legacy will live on forever, that's for sure. So, and Strathmore at the moment, bigger than better than has been in history, and he was a massive part of it. So
exactly right. So before we go to our first guest will be Anthony Pulic from the Gold Coast Knights, and he's a part of I believe, the organising committee of the tournament this year, which will be taking place later this month. The 51st? 50 because of the COVID.
51st anniversary, maybe, because I started 74. I don't think it's the actual 51st tournament. Because there was a couple we missed.
Give and take the COVID years, unfortunately, where we missed out on a couple. But
those years didn't exist, apparently.
We'll be chatting to him. But in other news, other things that will be taking place, I'll get this out early because a lot of people may not stick around till the end of the show if you're getting up early to watch the game. And if me and Rob get on it, it might be going till 2 in the morning. But the Crow Cup, the Melbourne Knights 2025 Junior Crow Cup is taking place this Sunday. Under 7s to under 12s, Mini Roos boys and girls. You can see there the clubs involved: Knights, Split, Dandy City, North Geelong, and Dinamo. So it should be a fantastic day out there. Hopefully the weather's good. So it's this Sunday down at Tomset Stadium, Melbourne Croatia Sports Centre. Looks like it's going to be a fairly big day. And I did get a message again. One of the messages that did come through from my good friend there at Melbourne Knights, Mr. Nicholas Bucic. Let's just have a look just quickly to read through some information.
A little message.
The new Melbourne Knights. So there's a new Melbourne Knights junior committee. So there, we all know that there have been some things taking place down at Knights. So there's been a few changes. The new committee is now made up of Nicholas Bucic, Vlado Juric, Branko Barčak, Suzi Korlic, Pero Vukasovic, and Andrej Kacic. So they are the new junior committee, and they invite everyone, our entire community, to attend our end-of-season Juniors Crow Cup at Tomset Stadium. Tournament will kick off at 9 a.m. and includes 62 teams with a total of 84 matches across the day, and Melbourne Croatia Soccer Club will be open from 10 a.m. for any food and beverages that you may need. The tournament structure itself, group stage only, each winner or champion of their division will receive a 2025 Crow Cup Champions medal. The structure means there will be 17 of the 62 teams receiving medals. So it's not you get a medal, you get a medal. Winners of each group or their particular age group will get the silverware. There'll be a lunch break at 12:30, which will commence the Hrvatska Zora performance on pitch 1, so on the main ground. We ask all team managers to report to the Melbourne Croatia Beer Garden upon arrival. To register your team, this location will also be to report scores post-match and update everybody about standings, etc. The last match is scheduled to be finished at approximately 4:40 p.m, enabling more than enough time to travel to Lakeside Stadium for the NPL final at 6 p.m. Should they wish to attend, we wish Dandenong City all the best in their final, and we'll be cheering them on to claim the championship. And they would also like to congratulate their under-17s team, which I've mentioned over the last couple of weeks. They've won against Dinamo, they've won against North Geelong, and yesterday they defeated Ballarat at the home of the Matildas 5-0 to clinch the Division 3 Northwest NPL title, and there was big celebrations down there at Knight Stadium. I saw a few clips on social media.
Fantastic for the club. They needed something.
Exactly right. And that's the future. That
is the future. 17s is not that far.
The junior committee would also like to thank our newly established Junior Knights Army volunteer group. The response has been overwhelming, with 40+ volunteers signing up within 48 hours. So that's very encouraging. To see that many people signing up to volunteer, because it's always hard to find them, but when you're getting 40, 50, 60 people putting their hat in the
That's
ring
the key.
after 2 days. That's fantastic. And finally, as the season ends, newly established partnership with Luštitsa football will commence, and I've got a flyer there. Stephen Luštitsa football will commence on October 11 with spring and summer training at Tomset Stadium to provide all our juniors with extra high-performance training to prepare for season 2026. All details can be found at the Luštitsa football website and social media accounts. So you can see there, Term 4 academy programs, High Performance Academy, Elite Minis, and Goalkeeper Academy. So big things happening down there at nights. And
Many
no doubt,
people excited about the whole Luštitsa
Yeah.
Academy thing coming. For the betterment of our kids, and it's our kids. You send your
right.
kids to our club, our kids at our club, being trained by our coaches, and elite coaches at that as well. So making the best of what we have. So
exactly right. So now we're just around 7:47 mark. So we are right on track to have a chat with our good friend Anthony Pulic. But before I begin, or I might even while we're chatting, I can go through some of the flyers.
And just a big shout out also to Sydney United from Peter Finker, who went down on penalty shootout on Wednesday night to Marconi. I did watch that. Took it right far, and the keepers were the best on ground, but they're just saving everything. But in the end, that's the dreaded penalty shootout.
One of the strangest penalty shootouts I've seen.
Yeah,
I think it was 0-0 after 7
Yeah.
hits.
Yeah.
It was strange. But we welcome to tonight's episode Anthony Pulic from the Gold Coast Knights, and we tested our audio and video before. Welcome, Anthony, and thanks for joining us on PodroomTV, mate.
No worries, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, so big things happening up on the Gold Coast, mate. So obviously you're all set in your preparations, obviously, and they're still ongoing, and there's plenty of work to do. But how is everything going up there with the culmination in the 20 not too far away?
Yeah, mate, it's tracking along pretty good. Fields now the season's over. Fields are getting a bit of a rest. It's been a wet winter for us, so the fields have copped a bit of a hammering. So the next 2 or 3 weeks will be a good opportunity, particularly for our field 3 at the Croatian club to get into shape. This year we're doing a little bit different to previous years. We're bringing the marquee that was on the second out into the car park, and that'll allow us to have 3 fields at the club and a 4th one sort of across the road, so that the atmosphere at the club will be bit more intense this time round, particularly on the Friday and Saturday, with more people sort of congregating around the club. And the rest of it, is falling into place. All those plans you sort of lock away in April and May. Suddenly now you got to try to rush and get everything all together in one go and coordinate deliveries and who's taking time off work to meet everyone. But it's coming together. So we're pretty comfortable where we're at the minute.
A huge preparations going on there. Sadama's being made, and what else is happening there?
Mate, the rolling of the Sadama was the most contentious bit of our committee meetings for a while, about which recipe to use and how much meat to put in each roll and how to roll it. But I'm glad the smarter people won, and the ladies there are putting it together, and there's plenty to go around. So.
And there are also some capital works that were happening during the week, and I've got some slides coming up now. Hopefully they work for us. If let's have a look if the next one comes across.
We're just talking about those capital works. Is that where the old terrace was, or like?
Yeah, we had an old scaffold terrace there, and then the Knights and through Jodie Dickens managed to get a government grant for some change rooms, women's change rooms, and women's facilities. The Knights has had a big focus on the women's program in the last 2 or 3 years. And so we're putting, a grant was obtained for 4 change rooms. They're sort of putting together now. The cyclone threw us back a little bit earlier on in the year, and insurance work's catching up. So this is the sort of first clear run they've had it to put the change rooms in.
Looks like a massive undertaking.
Yeah.
So will that be ready in time for the tournament there? Or is that...
the deck will be ready. It'll be a viewing platform and be nice. So beer garden, marquee on top. The change rooms underneath are a bit touch and go. There'll likely to be a first aid station. Whether or not the actual change room will be full or not, we'll wait and see. But we've got plenty of other facilities there for everyone to use. So we're not
throw a couple of old mattresses in there. I think everyone would appreciate that if the change rooms aren't ready. But tell us,
they want to be relieving themselves on mattresses,
but some of the events that are taking place. So I've got a fair few of them up here. Let us tell us: is there still some availability if people want to purchase tickets? So first one I've got here is the Hall of Fame induction, Kucha Slavni, on the Thursday from 12:30 p.m. for a 1 o'clock start. There at the at the facility. Tickets $100 each. So any tickets available for that one?
Yeah, there's a few tickets there left. We'd like to sort of see that event sell out. We've probably got about 20 or so tickets left. So certainly, if you're interested, get go to the website or email us through to reserve some tickets. But we brought that forward from the Saturday night to the Thursday lunch, just trying to try a little bit of a different format across the weekend. So hopefully it's well supported and clubs embrace the change. So far, the clubs have embraced it, and we just need a bit more of the general public to come along.
No worries. Then we've got the buffet dinner, the seafood dinner on the Friday night. Let me just have a look. Buffet dinner entertainment, 5:30 p.m. Tickets $130 per person. Večera plodovima mora. So plodovima mora, seafood dinner. Any tickets available for that one on the Friday night as well?
Yeah, there's a few tickets there. We were going to try and do grilled fish, but coordinating getting 200 odd fish out at the same time was difficult. So we've gone a bit of a seafood buffet, just to allow the delivery to be a bit smoother, and allow the entertainment with Steven Tavanovic will be there playing along. So yeah, it should be a good night actually, the seafood dinner.
Good stuff. And
So you really are shaking up the events there. It's not in order. It's all a bit different, but why not? Change is as good as a holiday, they say.
Then we've got the Croatian beach party, the old papaya party. Hopefully it's not one of those, like I was disappointed with.
Berlusconi party.
Went to Novaya, went to Zrče, I think it was in 2006, and they go, it's a pool and you get cocktails, and it's basically sitting on plastic Bunnings chairs, and your ankles are up. You wash your feet in the water, basically. That's all. I thought it was going to be something like out of Baywatch, but it wasn't quite. But that door's open at 5 p.m. Carly Beach Club down there, Alcorn Avenue, Surface Paradise. DJ is a KT King Tom. I'm assuming DJ Kovac. No,
That's Krešo Terkish.
Krešo Terkish. All right. KT. Big KT. Food and drink available to purchase. So not only can you get mangled and have a bit of a splash around if you're allowed in, $50. I can see there. Early entry, full price $60. So VIP booth packages available.
Yeah, Disco's selling quite well. We're sort of in the last throes of the ticket sales there. They'll probably sell out before Tawny rolls around, which would be good. Probably around 1,200 people.
Wow.
It's an open air venue. Pools around. It should be a new entertainment system there, so it should be a great night actually. So a bit different.
Fantastic. And the final one, Heritage Night, Večer Slavljenja Baštine. So it's not in a particular order, but this is on the Saturday night. 5:30. Ticket price is $80 adults, $40 kids, 6 years old to 15. Also at the centre there, buffet dinner, folklore dancing, and band will be Stona Sat. So that should be another good one. I've got my oldest daughter dancing at that one, so my whole family of 6 will be in attendance. So I'm looking forward to that one. That should be another good one at the club there.
Yeah, Saturday night should be a bit more of a party atmosphere. I think people with the gala, a bit of a change up, sort of less formal, more fun, more dancing. I'm looking forward to Stona Sat performing.
Fantastic.
And then on the Sunday, what's happening on the Sunday? Because there's no flight. Is this a bit of a surprise? You're leaving?
Oh, not so much a surprise. We have, I suppose, Sunday, so Thursday night opening night and Sunday closing night is going to be with Prva Liga. We're getting the guys back up. We had them in 2018, were our lead act, and we called on them again to come up. So Thursday night in the clubhouse, there'll be a party on from sort of 6 o'clock, and then Sunday after the grand finals, be a bit of a closing ceremony. I'm not sure 100% of the format yet, what we'll do straight after the game or what we'll do inside the club, but going through all the options at the moment.
No, are you hoping to break the record for the caller on the main pitch this time around?
Oh, mate, we'll try. We've got the entertainment system set up. The speakers are all ready to go. So hopefully, we'll give it a go.
Sounds fantastic. And any other news, any other maybe sponsors you want to mention that have been instrumental, any particular individuals or groups of people that have also jumped on board and made life easier for the organising committee?
I think just the committee in itself has come together. It's been quite a, like I said, stressful time. Cyclone came through February, March, and sort of put us back quite a bit, already coming off a short Tawny prep. So the committee and sort of the subcommittees around have done a really great job. And obviously our sponsors have come through quite well. Living Gems, the accountants in particular, sort of carrying the load for us and allowing us to get over. And also, I suppose the difficulty for every tournament is managing costs on the way in. You get all the money, you get all that turnover during the event, but you've got to somehow carry it. And I think DE Counts in particular, Anna Rage has done a great job of managing that for us and easing that pain. So, yeah, that's been a big help.
No worries. And how's the accommodation looking for those that may not have booked any accommodation up on the Gold Coast there? Do you think there's much still available around for people that want to jump in last minute?
Yeah, there'll be a bit around. The uni sport games starts on the Monday, but they don't really. The main events don't kick in until Tuesday, Wednesday. So there's still a bit of accommodation for that. From the Thursday through to the sort of Sunday, Monday. So there's plenty of options still available for people.
So I'm sure there's a few spare beds at your place anyway, if anyone requires.
I've got a big lawn, mate, so I can pitch a tent.
Oh, we can empty out some of the Living Gems facilities, and we can put a few of some of the Wednesday nights in there. I reckon, because I train with them at the moment, and I reckon a few of them should be looking at some of the brochures from Living Gems. To be honest,
or there might be some of the locals from Living Gems. They'll be partaking in the Masters thing. I was going to say, hopefully, the only cyclones that do happen during that tournament are maybe some of the Masters players doing pirouettes over the ball on the soccer pitch.
Oh, yes. There's a particular one culprit at the Wednesday nights. On a Thursday night, he's Cyclone Leovic, we call it. He does about 6 step overs and he kicks the ball out. So,
I think the dandy goal scorer on the weekend did a little pirouette after as well.
He did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. So there's a few going around.
Wasn't the most graceful pirouette either. But,
And what about the Knights season in general? So the Gold Coast Knights in their local NPL competition, they were kind of...
Yeah, the men's team had a mixed season. Probably started a little bit sort of mid-season. Not sure what happened there. Finished the season strong. They won the Queensland Kappa Cup, a knockout competition we've got here statewide. So they had a good result. They were in a bit of late season form. That missed out on finals football, unfortunately, but sort of hitting the form at the right part of the season for a good assault at Tawny. And then the girls have done an amazing job. They won the league and they're in the grand final this weekend. Strong performance on Friday night against Lions, and looking to go back to back. I think last year in Div 1 they won everything, and this year in NPL they're going to hopefully. I don't want to put the mock on.
Fingers crossed. What time's that game on?
Saturday night, I think it's 7:30. You call me out. Yeah, I'll
double check.
Sorry, 5:30. The men's are Saturday night, 7:30, I think.
Yeah.
So
get on the socials and have a look and get out and support the girls in their final. So in their bid to go back to back, and what's that, a promotion win, and now hopefully an NPL championship as well, which would be absolutely fantastic. And like we always say, with women's football, that is where the future is, and that is where the funding is as well. So, like you said, with the change rooms and the funding, etc.
Yeah,
a lot of it comes down to women's participation, and we need more women playing football, involved in our clubs, not just in kitchens, and getting out in the field as well, representing the colours. So that's fantastic. Great to see.
So, yeah, I think, 3 weeks ago I went? How many weeks? Yeah, 3 weeks. Till the
mate, 2.5, mate.
2.5.
2.5.
Well, actually, it starts sort of on Thursday now.
Not counting down.
That's right, yeah. 2.5 weeks, well,
Now, the one big controversial question, will there be kupus to go with the Chavape, Mile Bulic?
There will definitely be kupus. There'll be two types. There'll be fresh and kisel kupus. You can pick whatever you want to put on your Chavape.
Gourmet.
Mate, whatever you like.
Kupus goes with Chavape.
It all goes. I think all the time I realised we eat Chavape with kupus, and they were horrified.
Yeah.
First, I don't eat Chavape, I realised. Secondly, they go, how the hell can you mix that with kupus? We couldn't think of anything worse.
No,
but
we learned from last story, mate.
We over there, so there's no position to be talking, but anyway.
We learned from 2018 and want to avoid the controversy, so we'll offer it from the beginning.
Perfect.
Well, hopefully that's the biggest controversy that happens this year anyway. So
I can tell you, being around this past weekend and over the past few weekends, there's a big excitement growing. It was a sort of a slow burn. I think we're still coming out of COVID, at least down here in Victoria. So it's kind of, you only get excited about things very late because you're always scared that there's going to be a press conference saying you're not allowed out on Friday, So we kind of still got that repressed memory in the back of our mind. So the closer it gets, the more excited we are getting. And plenty of people looking forward to get up there, hopefully to nicer weather than what we've got in some of the southern states, and obviously a massive festa like only Gold Coast knows how to put on.
Yeah, no, looking forward to having everyone up, and the club will be ready, the bands, the entertainment will be ready. It'll be a great party weekend, a bit of football thrown in as well. So looking forward to having everyone up, and a bit of warm weather, a bit of sunshine's the long range forecast at the minute. So hopefully that stays.
Should be fantastic.
No worries.
Anthony, very much appreciated for you coming on the show tonight. We wish you and your committee and everyone there at Gold Coast Knights all the very best for the upcoming tournament. We've got no doubt it's going to be fantastic. The stress will pass. Once you get through it, I think on that Monday when you all sit down and you regroup, or even probably the Tuesday or Wednesday when you come back to your normality, then you'll fondly, hopefully, look back and say, look, that was another fantastic tournament. We've done our community proud and put on something for the whole Australian Croatian community to be a part of and be very, very proud of.
No, looking forward to it, guys. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for joining us. All the best, mate. Positive to everyone up on Gold Coast.
Thank you.
There we go. Anthony Pulic. I did get a message today from the prolific Grga Grgic saying, isn't it Adrian Pulic you're talking about? And no, he has many brothers. This one's Anthony Pulic, of the famous Pulic family, but obviously very, very involved in the Gold Coast Croatian community and the club. And behind the scenes, it's a big job. Every tournament is an absolute. The further it goes on, the harder it gets, the bigger it gets. These days, very few clubs will probably be able to host it. Yeah. But Gold Coast, as we know in the past, have put on a fantastic party, and we think this one will
tirelessly. Yeah,
that's right. This one will be no different, probably even better, because as we go along, things just get better and better. The benchmark is set. Yeah. The following year, hopefully, the benchmark gets beaten, and so it goes. But great stuff.
Right. You know, and that's another club where you see people with smiles on their faces, even though they're absolutely, exhausted from everything, but they're still smiling and welcoming and love having us. And that's, that's all you can ask for.
Exactly. But one quick one, there was some talk of St Albans Dynamo putting in an over 45s team. Now, they've got a lot of ex-players. They had an ex-players lunch not too long ago there at Dynamo before the last home game, and I saw some familiar faces there and some legends of the club. Yeah. But they're not putting a team together. So a lot of their players are sort of dispersed. Shame. It is a damn shame. They've dispersed. They're playing for Vukovar or Gospic or Wednesday nights, etc. But if Dynamo St Albans did put in an over 45s team,
wow, what would that look like?
Yeah, they did get together one night and they go, what do we look like if we did put a 45s team, a veterans team at the tourney? And I found a clip. I found it was somebody from the inside. I'm not going to name names. There was somebody, a spy from within the ranks, who sent me a video of St Albans Dynamo potential over 45s team if they were to attend the Gold Coast tournament. And here we go. Here they are right now. Here's a secret recording of the. There you go. There's Tommy Pondeljak.
So what is me?
Tommy Pondeljak. Martin Rasputic. Vundi. And Chewy. There you go. So that's what the over 45s Dynamo team would look like if they were to participate at the tournament this year or in coming years. So it's fantastic to see them just at least giving it a crack. Didn't work out this year, but maybe next year they will eventually get the
talent, though.
Oh, look at that. That's a shoo-in. Don't even play the group stages. Go straight to the final, boys. Collect 200. Avoid jail.
That'll be harder to do during the tournament, though.
Exactly right. But last night, I did have the pleasure. There's not much coming through the chat tonight.
No, it's a bit. And actually, I got really concerned about it. And I go, where the hell's Grga Grgic? Because he's usually putting in things. And then finally, he came in and put in a little thing saying, good evening, gents and viewers. He was a bit late because he was putting in a quote. I'm not sure what he was quoting, but he's with us. So that's the main thing.
But I did have the pleasure earlier on in the evening, before the celebrations really kicked off at Dandy City, of speaking with Bero Juresic, who is the president down there at Dandy City, an absolute gentleman. Bero, if anyone knows him, and everyone knows him around those parts and across our community. Absolutely fantastic ornament to his club. But I got Bero while the celebrations hadn't really fully kicked off. So it was good. So I did a pretty short interview with him. But not only that, we did have to hold our word. Assistant coach of Dandy City, Tommy Gavran, said to us last week, if Dandy win, I will come into the studio. And guess what? Tommy Gavran is in the studio behind the bar at the moment. But while we play the...
He's the man behind the bar.
While we play the video, Tommy will make his way over to the hot seat and we'll have a chat about all things Dandy City with Tommy. But here's Bero from last night down there at Dandy City. And we welcome Bero Juresic, president of Dandy City Soccer Club, maybe the happiest man in the world tonight. It's Sunday night here in Melbourne, and Dandy City has just beaten Avondale 1-0, and the buses have made their way back to Dandy City's home ground, and the celebration is on. Bero, kako si, kako je sve prošlo, kako je slavlje?
Sokole, ovo je san, ne možemo vjerovati šta se desilo. Hvala Bogu. Hvala Bogu, pozdrav tebi i svima vama. Ovo je najbolja stvar što se desila u klubu dugo godina.
Reci mi, je li će Ivan Filipović dati svima sutra slobodan dan, da ne moraju ići na posao zbog ove pobjede večera? Što misliš?
To je teška tema. A&D mora ići uvijek naprijed. A&D je uvijek... Jest. Evo mi.
Pozdrav veliki. I
Najbolji
kako je sve
Father's Day za
prošlo?
dugo.
Reci kako je sve prošlo? Jeste imali 2 autobusa, krenuli ste iz Dandy tamo?
Dva autobusa smo skupili ovdje i išli smo dalje svi s 2 autobusa. I stigli tamo u autobusima je bilo dobra atmosfera. Malo smo probali smo se ponašati koliko možemo. Bili smo dobri, ali sad kad smo se vratili, sad nas više niko ne dira. Sad su naša pravila i mi se uživamo sad.
Sad gradele rade.
Uživamo sad.
Peče se, pije se.
Evo,
Di si Toma?
Dobar dan, di ste mi dragi?
Dobar. So how's the celebrations going there, Toma, mate? We're going to get on it tonight or what?
Oh, mate, 100%.
Ovo će biti zapamćena festa ovdje.
Show me inside, we've got the squeeze box and the violin going.
Može, prošetaj malo unutra da vidimo atmosferu, kako se sve unutra stavi.
Ajde malo s nama unutra. Da vidiš šta se dešava.
Može. You can see the Dandy City Club room all kitted out with their new logo. The merchandise room.
Da ti pokažemo šta se dešava ovdje.
And here we go, the celebrations are well underway. Ja ću sa tobom otići na jedan. Vidi.
Ovo je najbolja stvar što se desila nama.
Da, i to od 6. mjesta došli ste do finala. Ja mislim, od 6. mjesta prvi put da je jedan klub došao do finala.
Moram mi daći vali, samo malo stačke, moram mi daći vali, ne čujem. Moram pobjeći vani, ne čujem vas.
Da. I tako kažu ovo i danas na prijenosu da je prvi puta da je neko iz 6. mjesta došao do finala u NPL povijesti.
Yes, to je stvarno velika stvar. Za naš mali klub sa velikim srcem, to je ogromna stvar. Mi smo napravili čudo. I ovo je već godinama se čekalo na ovo. Ovo su ljudi vrijedno radili godinama za ovo.
Da, pa velika pobjeda prošli tjedan protiv Dandy Thunder, to se je i nije očekivalo, ali prvi put da ste i dobili, jeli, u dugo godina. I danas protiv Avondale koji su prvi i završili čak u polufinala Australija kupa, tako da su jedna od najjačih ekipa izvan I-League u Australiji i da i njih dobijete 1-0 na njihovom terenu i prošli tjedan protiv Dandy Thunder na njihovom. I sad vas čeka u nedjelju u 6 sati u Lakeside Stadium na igralište Hellasa tamo na stadionu u 6 sati, jeli popodne navečer se igra protiv Heidelberg United, je li tako?
To je to, znači mali klub kad napraviš nešto veliko, kad posjeća me na hrvatsku reprezentaciju, mala nacija napravi nešto veliko. Tako smo isti mali klub, napravimo velike stvari. I ovo je stvarno čudo.
Da. I je li želiš pozvati ljude onda u nedjelju da dođu u što većem broju doli u Lakeside Stadium?
Sigurno, to je naš klub i cijela zajednica, ja sam siguran da će biti za nas. Da će biti za nas, smo biti svi skupa i ako Bog da, napravit ćemo nešto nikad napravljeno prije.
Da, i možda se i nađemo prije utakmice negdje tamo na Clarendon Street, obično se okupljaju u jedan tamo pub možda ili tako nešto prije utakmice, ali nadam se da će što više ljudi doći iz svih krajeva Melbourna da dođu podržavati Dandy City, da ako Bog da, da dobiju, ako i ne dobiju, to je jedan veliki uspjeh.
Veliki uspjeh, 100% je. I to nam treba, to nam treba i to hoćemo,
Da.
Hvala svima na podršci dosad je već veliki uspjeh, ja nisam mogao zamisliti ovo da će se desiti ikada. Ovo je bilo ljudi su radili godinama i napravili su velike stvari. Ovo je nešto.
Jako zasluženo sa tvoje strane, sa strane svi ljudi koji su uključeni, koji rade za taj klub godinama još i od prije kad ste bili u Edithville, pa sada u Endeavour Hills i od jednog malog kluba napravili ste jedno veliko čudo i iznenađenje.
Dugogodišnji, što ja kažem, dugogodišnji san, puno ljudi koji su od početka ovaj klub osnovali, napravili sve da dođemo do ovdje, ovo je nešto ogromno, nešto veliko.
I dobro, onda uživajte lipo večeras za plasman u finalu, popijte, proslavite, malo ćete zakasniti na posao sutra, ali nema veze, Ivan će sve oprostiti, ja se nadam.
Pa nekako ćemo se dogovoriti, je.
Nego što, i pozivamo sve ljude, sve Hrvate širom Viktorije da dođu, ako mogu u što većem broju, podržati Dandy City, to je naš klub.
Ako Bog da je, svi zajedno kao uvijek svi zajedno idemo naprijed, je.
I pokažemo svoju ljubav prema našem klubu i našoj zajednici tamo na jugoistoku Melburna, jer puno puta se nađemo na zapadu, ali ovaj puta idemo navijati za naše ljude iz jugoistoka Melburna.
Samo moment. Pobježe mi.
Ko je to isto sponsor?
Jedan najviše zaslužan za ovo sve pobježe.
A do koliko sati mislite večeras tu da će potrajati? Ljudi mogu još doći doli da popiju koju pivo?
Jeste, ajde, završi to i vamo se.
Može, slobodno. Ljudi, ako ste slobodni i blizu, naletite doli, proslavite malo i pripremamo se za nedjelju i nadamo se da će Dandy City Hajduk dobiti i finale protiv Horburga. I svako dobro i sve najbolje i svaka vam čast na velikom radu i trudu i na ovom velikom uspjehu.
Hvala puno i pozdrav svima i vama i...
Bog pero i hvala i pozdrav svima tamo.
Sređeno će nam treba cijela podrška.
Vidimo se tamo.
Živjeli.
Hvala. Živio. There you go, Bero Jurisic from Dandy City, the president, absolute gentleman. He took the time out from the celebrations there and organising all the festivities that took place and went late into the night. And Robbie Jakovljevic, one of our most recent sponsors, sent down 20 pizzas from his pizzeria there. So I heard that later on, Luca Munirana told me that just as he was about to leave, an order of 20 pizzas were delivered to Dandy City as well.
Just in case I was hungry.
And there were some other festivities that, or other culinary delights that made their way to the plates of those in attendance. And we do have a short clip of some of the events that took place yesterday, from the bus trip on the way to Avondale all the way through to the very last few hours of the celebrations.
The grand final was massive, but we want to keep this week as normal as possible. And, we've got Sunday night to celebrate.
So we missed all of that because I think we forgot to unmute the mic.
That's right.
That's all right, but it's all good.
I just mentioned that the players didn't end up going down to the club. Obviously, they need to look after themselves for the big game on Sunday and not get a little bit too carried away with some of the festivities and not get a little bit ahead of themselves, obviously, because it is a big game for a lot of these players, probably the biggest game that they've been involved in. But a lot of the so you're the assistant coach at Dandy City. A lot of the talk today on social media has been about Nick Tolios, the senior coach, as being a finals genius. Now, what's he like to work alongside Nick Tolios as the senior coach there? He's obviously not conceded a goal in 2 games against Dandy Thunder, who finished 3rd, and against Avondale, who finished 1st. Prolific scoring teams. You kept them goalless. You managed to poke one in on both occasions, and you got through to a grand final now against Heidelberg, and hopefully defensively you can do the same thing, pinch a goal or 2 here or there. But what's he like as a coach, as a tactician, as a man manager, as personality? What's he like around the club and around the boys in the dressing room?
Yeah, he's good. He's obviously got the experience now. He's got aura about him. The boys really like him. His biggest strengths are probably player management. So that's probably one thing I've sort of taken out of working under him for the last couple of years, is just feeling the vibe of the team, knowing when they need a night off, when to lessen the load at training. He builds really good relationships with the players as well. So that's probably his biggest strength. And then he's a real good match day coach as well. He sees things quite well, makes a few tweaks on match day as well. Substitutions are usually quite good. Obviously, we have an input in that as well. But, he's just got an astute eye for the game. And, like I said, they're probably his 2 biggest strengths, is that match day coaching and just that player relationship building that he obviously builds with the players.
You guys have been looking defensively rock solid in the last few weeks.
Yep.
Not conceding. Now, the last time you played Heidelberg was a 2-2 draw over at Frank Holohan. But now you're not conceding. He's conceded 2 there. I mean, it might be. I know that Dandy are the underdogs. There's no doubt about it, because Heidelberg has been shining all year. But there must be some hope there. You know that you can hold out some really good attacking teams, just like Avondale are. Avondale are a great side, and they showed that all year, and have been showing that the last few years, as have Heidelberg. But you're also showing yourselves as being staunch there at the back.
Yeah, we can graft. We're a team that can graft results out. We're a solid unit. We've got lots of depth as well, which is good. And we're sort of peaking at the right time of the year. We've got a full list to choose from, other than one sort of long-term injury. Everyone's fighting for a position, and I think we've got consistency now. We've had the same lineup for about, 4 weeks straight now. Our first 11's been the exact same. And there was a period there where we were missing our skipper, Jack Webster. We weren't even sure if he was going to make it to the end of the season. He did his knee his meniscus in his knee. Oh, not his meniscus, his medial ligament in his knee.
I don't
So
know
we-
what all of those things
So
are.
we weren't sure. We weren't sure if he was going to miss the rest of the season or not. And then at that same period, he went overseas to his brother's wedding back home in England for a few weeks. But he's managed to come good, and he's an ox. He wouldn't miss a game unless he was missing a leg basically. So he's come back into the lineup. We managed to sign very last minute in the pre-season our Japanese left centre back as well, Gaku Inaba. Bit of an unknown. Managed to stumble across him and brought him in, and he's been awesome for us. And he was suspended for a while too, so I'm not sure if you knew the story about him making contact with the referee during the Dandy Derby during the season. But he ended up initially getting 10 weeks, but then we managed to get it down to 5 weeks. And then since he's come back in, and him and Webster have, obviously back as our preferred two sort of centre backs at the moment. They've really made a difference. And then a key is Corey Saul, who we got from Knights, obviously. He's playing as left back for us, and he's got that ability to go forward and sort of, invert into midfield when we need him to as well. And then, to Tolsey's credit, and I suppose going back to that point of, he's got a good eye for things, we converted one of our wingers, Valley Chesnick, into a right back. So we sort of needed some cover at fullback, and we decided to go with Valley, and he's been unbelievable since he's been converted into a right back.
His name came up on the stream pretty much 1,000 times. I think I heard his name mentioned by the commentators.
Yeah, he's a running machine. He's an ox, and he doesn't stop. So
It's real modern right back there. I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's a great position.
One more before we go to our guest, who's going to be, he's dialed in from Zagreb, all the way from Hamilton, Croatia, in Canada, but currently on Trgbana Jelačića, when we spoke to him earlier. How have you found your transition to Dandy City? You're obviously like me. You've had more clubs than Greg Norman, but you're obviously an old Knights boy yourself, junior, and you still got the box there with your brother as well. I'm pretty sure at the Melbourne Knights. But how have you found your transition going over to Dandy? It's a fair bit of travel from Ascot Vale going all the way to Endeavour Hills. Yeah. But the way you've been welcomed there, the setup and all of that down at Dandy City. We saw Beto, obviously, who's the president, who's got a lot to do with the hiring and firing. But how have you found your time at Dandy City so far?
No, really good. As you said, I've sort of moved around a little bit, but I'm sort of going where the opportunities are, and wanted to get into that senior environment. I haven't been in that senior environment since my debut as a coach back with Strathmore Split. So that was my debut as a senior coach, and then I sort of spent a bit of time in youth coaching at Knights in the under-21s space, but sort of wasn't, given that opportunity to move up to the senior space, and that's when I moved on to North Geelong as an assistant, and then obviously took over there for 3/4 of the season in the NPL a couple of years ago, and then went over to Dandy City when a position opened up there with Nick Tolios. The club's great. Got a bit of an affinity with the club. I did play a season there back in the old state leagues before they sort of entered the NPL, and really good people. I think the success we're having now is sort of testament to the club and the work that they've put in behind the scenes, from ex sort of President Robbie, and obviously people like Ivy Kladica, and obviously current President Beto, and sponsors like IND, obviously, funding us to be able to recruit players and recruit the right coaches as well. And but it starts at junior level too. Ljuban Palanic, put a lot of good work in before sort of he moved on as well. I mean, our 19s won the league with 5 games to spare. Our 23s won the league, and hopefully on Sunday we can top it off and cap it off with a win on Sunday too. So really good setup. The club's really welcoming. Just like most clubs, relies on their volunteers, and there's a real good core of people that are always in the canteen, that are always behind the bar, always cleaning up, always opening up, and it's a real family sort of vibe at the club. So really good.
You talk about Beto too. He was always the designated driver.
He was
and you did describe him as a gentleman, which is a perfect word for him. He is a gentleman. But the thing that was concerning for me was he's a designated driver. He looked like he had about 25 drinks in that interview. So
I think the two buses yesterday were charter buses.
Oh, was that okay? No,
I
fair
think
enough.
Princess.
I didn't see Princess yesterday.
Princess wasn't out
Princess too, by the way, during pre-season.
Princess was maybe dropping people off at home afterwards. I reckon they might have found there's no drive. But Tom, if you're happy to stick around for a little bit more, we're going to have a chat now with our very special guest coming to us all the way from Zagreb, but otherwise from Hamilton, Croatia in Canada. So some of you may know Hamilton, Croatia. Hamilton is the place where the famous Vlado Vanish came to Melbourne from. And I believe the Moose. And also I believe Ivan Ražnjević, the old coach back in the NSL. I believe they came via Hamilton. I know Vanish said it's Hamilton Steelers, but I'm pretty sure it would have had something to do with the Crow community, as did Mr. Ražnjević from Polača. But we have
The
with
two
us.
of the best quotes about Vidal Vanish though, before he goes on, when he used to say, everybody on your fingers, on your fingers, on your fingers, and you got to put your hand in the fire for the team. Put your hand in the fire. But anyway, speaking of hand in the fire,
We have a hand all the way from his out and a boot from all the way from Zagreb, but via Canada.
Anywho.
We have Joey or Josip right all the way here. And we welcome Josip or Joey to PodroomTV with a very famous surname. There are plenty, no doubt, of your relatives that are countrymen and village folk down here in Melbourne. Half of Tomislavgrad is down here, and I assume that you are also all your heritage from that neck of the woods. Welcome to PodroomTV, and thanks for joining us, mate.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's a pleasure to be on. When I was asked to be on, I was like, this is exciting. I watched some of the episodes you guys have done. It's amazing work, and keep it up.
I couldn't understand anything.
No, can you understand? I might have to put the subtitles on.
No, I just joking. Thank you. Thanks.
But tell us a little bit about yourself. So I know you're obviously involved with Hamilton, Croatia, but also are you current or a past director or board member of the Savez, the North American or the Croatian National Soccer Federation over there in North America?
Currently I'm the vice president of the Savez here in North America. And I'm coaching U14 boys for Hamilton, Croatia. So I have all my free time. I volunteer to the Christian community, and I'm glad to do it. There's things that you may take time from the family away, but when you see the kids smile, or you see the party at our tournaments, it's totally worth it.
Well, speaking of tournaments, you just come off the back of your tournament. What number is it? Because I know you guys started your tournaments before we did. You'll be about 60 or something like that, maybe, or close to.
This year was our 61st tournament that we held, and we had 24 teams. So we did a Euro style where 16 teams made it through to the knockout stage, and then we did the knockouts all the way to the finals. It was a very good tournament, quality-wise. There are a few clubs who sent in 2-3 teams. We had 3 guest teams, one from New York, or Stepinac, New York. We had St. Louis, Croatia, and Crocan West, which was a team comprised of 4 clubs from Western Canada. It was Winnipeg, Edmonton, Vancouver, and Calgary. And Joe from Edmonton, he kind of organized, got all these guys together to put a team in the tournament. It's now the second year they've been a guest team, the second year that St. Louis has been a guest team. And it's, our tournament is growing. It's fantastic.
And is it just like one grouping you've got, just the senior men's? You don't have like masters, over 45s, women's competitions or anything like that?
So we have the men's was 24 teams. Then we had the over 35s. We call them the old timers, or you guys call them the masters. I think I like the masters name more.
We're not
that would mean I'm a master now.
35 is still young men.
So yeah, we had over 35. A few years back, we had a women's division, but it's just with the numbers. Every year it varies. Like, we always try to get more divisions to come in. It's just difficult because a lot of the younger kids, they've started school already, so colleges and university players can't make it. And that's kind of the difficulty that we're having with our timing. But this year to get to 24 teams is amazing. We also have a youth tournament 2 months before that. So the end of June, beginning of July, we have a youth tournament, and that covers teams from ages U7 to all the way up to U18. And we had over 92 teams at that youth tournament this year. So there's a lot going on in our Savez.
So just off the field as well, in terms of numbers, what are some of the other extracurricular activities that happen at these tournaments? You've got a party night, a Zabava. What are some of the things that happen?
So we have a disco, we have a banquet, we have like a welcoming kind of party opening night. Those are kind of the 3 nights that you come in. So typically Friday, if we can get a field with lights, we like to start the tournament on Friday nights. But it all varies, the location, the host, if they get lights, if they don't. And then Saturday is always a disco, and then Sunday we do our awards and our banquet. It's good weekends. It's tiring, it's busy, but it's a lot of fun.
And what are some of the numbers? What are the numbers you get at the disco at the banquet and just as spectators at the final?
Yeah, so again, it depends where we're hosting. This year it was in Windsor, very central. So we had, I want to say, over 2,000 spectators at the final, something like that. Mind you, people are coming in and out of the park. They're watching the men's. They're going to the beer tent. So the whole park is open, right? You
Naturally.
can't control that.
Yeah.
For the Saturday nights, before COVID, Saturday night disco was, you get 300, 400 people. And then once kind of COVID happened and we opened it up, the Saturday night disco, I remember going and we were thinking, okay, hopefully they can get 300. And we had over 1,000 kids come in the door. It was absolutely amazing. And that trend has just continued. From Cleveland last year to Windsor this year. It's just the numbers are growing. We got, I see so many kids come up to me and they'll talk like, "Hey, I'm from Vancouver. I'm from Los Angeles." And you got to understand, in North America, to fly from LA to Hamilton to Toronto or Cleveland, you're looking, that's an expensive ticket. That's a 6-7 hour flight. It's not easy for them, but these kids are making the trip because they want to be a part of something special and something we're doing in North America.
Yeah, but tell us a little bit about Croatia, Hamilton itself. So I did a little bit of research. So it's not only obviously soccer that takes place there, but there was an indoor soccer league, 10-pin bowling, ice hockey, butcher, golf, cycling, softball teams, tennis tournaments, running groups, chess clubs. Is there anything you don't do?
There's not much we don't do, and we're always looking to do more. So Hamilton, Croatia as a club was formed in 1957. And in the early 90s, we were facing bankruptcy. It was, and then we kind of had a changing of the guard, and a lot of the young guys kind of started stepping up and having discos and things like that. And we really turned it around. In 2010, our men's team was ranked third in all of Canada behind the two MLS teams at the time. But then we kind of shifted towards, we put it towards youth soccer. So we ended up merging. We sold our old clubhouse and now we have a park. And then from the park, we went, let's build brand new turf field. So we have a 5v5 and a 7v7 kids turf field. We have 5 bocce courts all covered in turf. We have a banquet facility that can house 250 plus people. We have a sports bar. So it's kind of like the center hub. World Cup 2018, we had about 5,000 people at our park to watch the final. And then upstairs they do jiu-jitsu, and we have, like you said, we have a men's bowling league. We have women's bocce, men's bocce, Friday night pickup soccer. House league is the sign up as soon as it opens. It's full. Youth teams and rep teams. We're like the hottest ticket in the city of Hamilton when it comes to youth soccer, and it's great to be a part of that. And really, it's all the hard work that all the guys do at that club. It's all volunteer work. All our coaches are volunteer coaches. So it's really a community coming together to try to build something for the next generation. And it's just incredible. I know we don't have basketball, but I think I was asked a couple months ago if I would help start a basketball program. I said my hands are full, but maybe somebody else can take that over.
I do have a short clip of the facilities, so I'll play that now. So
Go ahead.
Website, you can see it. Sports and Community Centre in Hamilton. There you go, courtesy of Michael Rukovina, but some absolutely fantastic vision there of what you have at your disposal. Synthetic
Yeah.
soccer pitches. You've got the bocce courts. Looks
So
like
they're the best bocce courts I've ever seen in my life.
Oh,
Oh, they're good.
They're unbelievable.
and then that bar had a real Canadian feel. The sports bar had a real Canadian feel. You
Yeah.
could see people just in their hockey jerseys and drinking whatever it is,
Yeah.
Moosehead beer or whatever you drink over there. But yeah, well, it's one of my bucket list items is Canada. So I do have cousins on either end. One's on Vancouver Island, and the others are in. It's called Tecumseh, somewhere near Detroit, near the border there. London,
Tecumseh, that's in Windsor. Yeah, that's where I was last weekend.
So I've got to get there one day. We were hoping to go there with the folklore group during COVID, but then COVID hit and we unfortunately didn't make the tour. But we'll definitely got to get there one day. It looks like a fantastic place. And I dare say it's not too much different to Australia in terms of the culture, I guess. Obviously, it's North America, and we're down here in the bloody Pacific or whatever it is. But both colonies of the Crown, so we've got a lot of things in common. But it'll be fantastic, and some of the Canadian Croats that have come through on our shores here that have left an indelible mark. And you may have also heard Zed Bilic, our Canadian Croatian brother, who was a fellow member of the Melbourne Knights. Old boys here, passed away probably over a month ago. Be more than a month ago in Australia, but he spent most of his adult life here in Australia and was very, very well loved by the Melbourne Croatian community. And I've known him since pre-1990s. But we'd love to get up there. But it looks like you've got a great community up there, particularly around Hamilton. But what about otherwise some of the other centres of Croatian community and also in some of the US cities? Where's it probably most in? Let's say the US. When you said you were in Cleveland, what's the community there like? Is it a little bit different to what it is in Canada?
I would say, like, when I compare it, when I look at all our clubs in Canada, Hamilton is up there with size. Cleveland is just as big. I know they just put an artificial 11v11 field in. And then 40 minutes from us, we got Norval, Croatia. Norval's got a great facility. They got 4 or 5 grass fields. And then Mississauga's coming up again. Those are like the 4. I would say they got a lot of youth programs. Windsor, where we just were last year, hosted a men's tournament, they're just as big. It's a lot of it. It's huddled in that GTA area, that Southern Ontario, your Windsor, Norval, Mississauga, Hamilton. And then when you look at the men's teams, you got teams in St. Catharines who are playing at the highest level in Ontario. You look in the States, Chicago's got some youth teams. Chicago's got a good men's team. Milwaukee is a club that's been around for over 100 years. They got amazing facilities. So, it's really cool to just go around from club and you see the difference. You see, there's first generation Croats here. There's third generation here. It's truly something remarkable. And wherever I go, it's just like, we do this here. And then we kind of borrow off each other. We learn things from one another. So, yeah, it's a very big community in this area. So, if you're in Hamilton, you can go check out, in an hour's drive, you can check out 5-6 teams, like no problem. There's London, Croatia's an hour, 20 minutes away. You want to catch one of their men's team games. I'm trying to really plug in every club too.
But is there any chance that we did have?
No, they're all in there. They're all in there, man. It's really awesome. And I forgot someone's going to get mad at me, so I apologize. But
no, that's all good. But we did have Chicago at a Croatian soccer tournament here in Australia as a guest team, and again we have the Croats from Munich in Germany coming down to the Gold Coast for our tournament in a couple of weeks' time. Any chance of a Canadian team or even a Canadian Croatian representative team making their way down to one of our tournaments here in the future?
So West End in Chicago was a big one for our Savez because we know they wanted to go. And on behalf of Anta and Sidney Shaw and the rest of the guys from Chicago, they cannot speak highly of you guys enough. They love you guys, and I'm sure they're saying hi. And every time I talk to them, they're like, we got to get one of the Australian teams to come down. It's difficult in a sense of because the Canadian season is just finishing and wrapping up. The American season is just starting. So, I talked to your president and, I said, listen, we got to get something going. Every 2 years, either you send a team down to us and we send a team down to you. Maybe it's an all-star team. Maybe it's a combination, but listen, if you guys are 6 hours, that's easy, but it's 24 hours to get to you guys for some of us. So it's like, it's not easy for me to like just hop on. If it was 6 hours, I'd hop on a plane. I'd be there for tournament. I'd fly back, no problem. But it's kind of hard to leave on a Wednesday and come back on a Wednesday and miss, this and that. But I really do think it'd be something that if our Savages can work together to get that, at least every couple years we send a team, you guys send a team, and every time a team asks me, hey, you were in Australia, like, what's it like? What do you need to send a team? I listen, their Savas and their clubs are so helpful. You guys, I go, but you guys, it's a lot of legwork. It's not you're just jumping on a bus for 3 hours. You're booking flights, you're looking at hotels. Guys want to stay, they want to tour Australia. These are all things that you got to think about. And the same is with Canada too. Everyone thinks Canada is tiny. I had an
Nobody
old
thinks
guy ask me
Canada is
once.
Canada.
I I had a guy ask me once. He goes, "Well, he's not Shantae's Canada." I'm like, "There's about 14 of them. I don't know which part of Canada he's from." He said, "Vancouver." That's 8 hours away, man. but but no, I think it'd be something great to do, and I know there are teams always chomping at the bit to come to play you guys because they want to say, "Yeah, we won the tournament in North America, and then we won the tournament in Australia."
Yeah, I'm not sure how much the tournament has to do with soccer as it does with drinking, but anyway, that's a different thing altogether. And I think you know that very, very well.
No,
But one thing that you did touch on before, and it's really interesting to us, is that you said pre-COVID you're getting maybe 300-400 kids going to a disco, and then like now post-COVID you got 1,000, which we've seen a rejuvenation here as well. Not so much a rejuvenation, but like maybe a strengthening in the interest in all things Croatian here in Australia. We keep referring to it as a renaissance, but from what you said, it seems like the same thing's happening over in North America.
Yeah.
Is it just a Canadian thing or an American thing as well? Is it happening in America? I mean, where's it? Is it something that's happening globally in the diaspora?
I think it's globally. I think the success of the 2018 World Cup can't, that has an effect on it because I look at some of these kids when they were 12, and soccer was, it was something, right? And then when they see Croatia's playing in a World Cup final, all of a sudden it brings them that patriotism, that passion, and then they have a love for soccer. And then they start, okay, if I can't play, I'm going to go to the events. I'm going to go to the tournaments. And then word of mouth happens and it spreads quickly. We see a renaissance, like a rejuvenation also in folklore as well. We have an East Coast festival, a West Coast festival. The president of our Savas is also involved in the folklore Savas. So I'm always hearing about how this is getting bigger and, and they're changing it where they don't like they're running out of time for sure. Like they're, the performances before they'd give you more run time, and now it's really a good problem to have when somebody goes, "Oh, we're going to need 5 men's fields or 6 men's fields to have tournament." I go, that I like that problem. I don't want to be able to just say, "Oh, we can run it on 2 or 3." Give a few years after that COVID, when we had the men's tournament, we were fortunate enough to have some youth teams also. So we did a U 13, 14, and 15, just so some of those kids could come out and see how the men's tournament works. And then that also helps because then they go, "Hey, Tata, like I want to go to that tournament. I want to go watch the men play." And it's just amazing. And I hope and I really do think it's going to continue on that path.
And you're a bit different, I think, also in North America, that Croats did end up going to Canada and the States a lot earlier than they did to Australia. Like we're probably now at third, approaching fourth generation, whilst you're already speaking about fifth, sixth generation. And some of these, early clubs like Croatian Eagles and all these other ones I remember reading about, in California and all sorts of other places as well. And, these communities in San Pedro from California right up to Hamilton and stuff like that. What's the language like? Are the kids learning it? And the kids that are getting involved, are they second generation or are they sixth generation and they might only have like a grandfather that was a Croatian or,
You get various amounts. You get some of the second generation or third generations. You get some of the, they've recently immigrated, and then you have these fifth or sixth generation kids that, they'll say, "Hey, I don't really know the language, but my great grandfather came here and this," and you're just like the fact that you're continuing it, right? And even I see a lot of that in the folklore. I see someone walking around with a tamburan. I'm like, oh, that's also, I start speaking Croatian and they're looking at like, I know how to sing it, but that's about it. Like, and I'm like, yeah, but the fact that you're learning how to sing it, how to play the songs, that says something to me. You're keeping that culture alive, and we in Hamilton, and I know Oakville has it as well. They have Croatian school. Montreal, they got a small community, but they combine their Croatian school and their folklore together. So you see a lot of these communities, if they got big numbers or small numbers, they're really trying to keep it together. Ottawa, who's hosting our men's tournament next year, they just kind of started a house league a couple years ago. So I was talking to Brian, who was running it at the time, and he told me, he goes, yeah, we got about 30 kids. And then the next year we got about 50. Now he's at 70 something. And a year from now, he'll probably be at 100 kids. And he goes, they're not all Croatian, but they're wearing that gerb on their jersey, and they're asking questions, and they're representing, and they're helping our club, which, that helps the whole community and everything grow and prosper. And, some of these communities are closely knit with their churches, which is also good to see, because now a lot of these churches, you get in these younger priests who are becoming more involved as well, and they're asking how they can help out. And it's just an amazing thing to see.
But tell me, one question you always probably get asked, or we get asked wherever you go, do you have any relatives in Australia?
I do. My dad has 3 first cousins that live in the Gold Coast, and we also have family in Sydney. And Mate, or mate.
You also gave me the jacket that I wore on the reel yesterday, last year's tournament. He marked me, he was 63 years old, and he's still playing in the over 45 tournament. He and his younger brother, I think, and the older brother turned up on the Sunday to watch, because he's like 61 or something. But here you go. So if anyone, we just had the Gold Coast Knights on, they're hosting this year's tournament. So if the Rados brothers are watching up there, Ferdo, Jozo, and what'd you say the other one's name was?
Mate.
Veliki pozdrav to the Radoš boys up there in Gold
Veliki pozdrav, yeah.
Zagreba, preko Kanade se javlja. There you go.
The whole thing. If everyone from Tomislavgrad and from Zadar went back to Croatia, would have the population similar to that of Germany.
There's a lot of Tommy down here, especially. But I know that I was speaking to some people from the Gorspic Bears, so we've got the club here in Melbourne. They're very keen on getting a team together to come across. I know Marko Butorat's probably been in touch with you, or
I've been haggling him for almost 10 years now to bring a team over. I offered my house; they can all stay there.
No, at that time he did. He inquired with me pre-COVID, and I'm very seriously going there. But then COVID hit, and then I don't know.
COVID kind of put a damper on a lot of things.
Then Budo selfishly had children and had other priorities.
But we've got Ante Grabovac that said we need a combined Australia and US tournament in Hawaii. So I don't know if there's much of a presence of our community in Hawaii, but
meet up there.
Exactly.
Listen, I got no problems. I got no problems organizing that. I'll fully put my hat in the ring to help organize the tournament in Hawaii. And my wife will fully support it.
Jakub Rimac says, amazing facilities, bravo Hamilton. And our friend Marko Butorac, there you go. Nice to see you again, Joey. So he says hello in the chat as well. Mario Chavar says, did Dean Youngblood ever play for Hamilton, Croatia before transitioning to play ice hockey for the Hamilton Mustangs?
Well, what's it crazy?
It's a Rob Lowe movie, isn't it? It's what he is.
That's why I don't know.
I know that movie very well. Unfortunately, no, he did not play for our hockey team when he was before moving.
But we've got people listening in. There you go. My sister's just tuned in as well, listening from Borik in Zadar. So plenty of traction all over the world, but it's been absolutely fantastic. What a gentleman.
Yep.
We'd not spoken before, probably at 7:30 today, our time, just to see whether or not the video and audio was working. But it's absolutely amazing to have you on the show. I've seen our viewership actually now increase while we've been talking.
Yeah, female viewers.
Pushing around the pram, Brian Jelacic. Trg earlier, so you aren't taking Joey.
Just Made him
Yeah,
all that
yeah.
more attractive to the females there.
But
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
girls
But
from Mokronoge and from Crvenica, Šuica, Kongora, Lečka are all now very, very disappointed that you're off the market.
Listen, we got a lot of young guys in Hamilton and at our tournaments that are single. So, if there's ladies out there that are looking, just come to Ottawa next year, and I'll be glad to play matchmaker.
I tell you what, all you need to do is organise what we had here the last couple of tournaments, a ladies' lunch.
Oh,
If you want to,
oh,
if you want to get the ladies involved, organise a ladies' lunch, make it an open bar. Don't cap the time. Say it's 1 till 5, but if they need to go till 9, let them go till 9.
I don't expect them to walk out. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Not gonna get carried out. You just have a lot of stretchers there at hand. But you talked about a lot of guys there that are available. What about all the girls that are available for the guys?
Oh, just listen. I don't look at that, but from what the guys have told me, there's a lot of them. But
Of course you don't.
I'm busy doing standings and stats and all that stuff during the tournament. So
you've got tickets. You're going to the game for your time tonight, our time tomorrow morning. So you've got tickets. You've organised through some cousins. So it should be
got tickets. Yeah, looking forward to that. And then I head to Italy. I should be in Milan on Sunday to see Modric play there. And then hopefully, if all goes well, I'll be in Czechia to watch Croatia play Czechia in October. So I'm on quite the vacation with pit stops,
Short holiday. Actually, I've
with
got
pit stops.
a bit of a selfish question to ask you about. What's the music scene like over in Canada and the States and bands?
Oh.
I know you've got some other legendary ones like Grahi Yetcham and others. Tell us a bit about the bands that are there entertaining the masses.
Honestly, we have so many bands in that Hamilton, Oakville, Mississauga area. I could name you 5, 6 top of my head. One thing that you'd be very interested in coming to is we in Hamilton we host we call it Crow Stock every year, and it's a festival of about some years we'll have 10, others will have 12, 15 of the local bands, and they start playing at 3 p.m. and it goes to about 1 or 2 in the morning, and it's a very good time. I was able to go this year, and I don't really remember the night, but it was a good night.
That was a good one.
So yeah, there's a lot of music going on. A lot of younger kids now and younger bands are starting. So the guys who are running the bands, their kids are now 18, 19, and these mladi are now starting their own bands, and it's fantastic. I must say.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. But Joey, wish you all the very, very best on your trip, and hopefully we get a good win in the morning and set ourselves up for World Cup qualification, which will be in Canada, the US, and Mexico. So what 2 cities in Canada? There are 2 cities that the World Cup is being played at, or more?
Vancouver and Toronto are hosting. I think Edmonton might. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know Vancouver and Toronto for sure are hosting. And and then there's several in the States and then a few in Mexico. So we're looking forward to it. Hopefully let's qualify first and then I'll plan where we're going to go. But one step at a time. I don't like to jump the gun.
That'll be absolutely fantastic for our community to have Croatia, possibly even just set up camp in one of those cities before they head off to play in one of the US cities or Mexico.
And wherever they play, if it's in Chicago, if it's or near Chicago or New York, or there's always a big following of Hrvati in North America. I was able to go see Hrvatska Peru back before the 2018 World Cup. And, that was in Florida. That was mainly a Peruvian crowd, but you still saw a few thousand Hrvati made the trip down for a friendly. So it's good. I'm excited for the World Cup coming to Canada. Soccer's really growing there, and in the States, there's more of an emphasis and more of a focus on it now. And, it's just good. Like we got the Savas, they came the last few years to North America like they did in Australia to see some of the talent. Our Savas, our president really helped put that together for us. And, we're kind of we're trying to keep everything, all the lines open and have everybody come in. And, maybe it'd be nice if Canada or the U.S. could produce a national team player like you guys did for Hrvatska. But
we produced them from the Canadian national team. Was Ante Rajov, he was a Croat that played for Canada back in the day?
I don't know if he was playing for one of the. I think he's from Vancouver. I,
Playing for Canada.
but I don't know if he was playing for one of our clubs at the time.
Yeah, and didn't
I'm not-
Željko Agić, did Željko Agić come via Canada
As well,
as
yeah.
well? If you remember Željko Agić back in the day, could have even been through
Yeah.
Hamilton.
He did come from.
Ivan
He did come
Ožević,
for it.
one of
He
the
did.
all-time greatest
He did.
players that ever graced our shores here in Australia.
There's a Sigurd just scored for Canada.
And yeah, that's what Tony
Yeah,
reckons.
Sigurd.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
Yeah, so he was on the U21 Croatian team, and now he's Canada capped him, so he's playing for Canada. But I want somebody wearing the checkers. You know, we have a lot of younger kids playing, and you know, there's a few playing MLS. You know, one just signed with LAFC from Chicago. I believe he was playing for Chicago's youth when he was younger. Luka Govern's playing. He's a backup keeper for TFC in Toronto, and he played youth in Hamilton and he was there. So, you know, a lot of these younger, it's good. Like when I started coaching house league, that I see some of these kids are actually making a career out of it. You know, I didn't completely waste my time in our club, you know, and said, let's invest in youth, and it paid off. But no, it's good that these kids are now, and you know what? Now the generation coming up is seeing that these kids have the opportunity. Canada just started a professional league just 6 years ago. So now there's another avenue for kids to play. It's growing. I just hope people continue to support it and that it, you know, it prospers in the future.
And what league is Hamilton in? What's the level that you're playing in Canada there? Is it first, second, third, fourth? What division?
So there's like this year they played in the Hamilton District League and they won that league, and now they're going to go up a division. But the provinces have a few different leagues. There's St. Catharines Hoodbot. They're just 45 minutes out or 40 minutes outside of Hamilton. They play in the highest league in Ontario, and I believe Croatia and Norval, they play in a high league as well. It's so tough to keep track because they break the province up into parts, and then there's 4 or 5 tiers to each part. So it's not easy. Now they're starting to put everything online where you can check it out, but
yeah.
I really don't have time to tell you, and I'm not going to lie, but I'm sure people are watching like, we play in a higher league, and I apologize.
Well, look, Agic featured for 2 Canadian clubs, apparently Hamilton, Croatia in 1986 and the Hamilton Steelers from 86 to 88. So there you
So
go.
Steelers they were a professional team or a semi-pro team, and then the soccer has been kind of rogue in Canada because we didn't have a pro league up until the CPL. We had like the Canadian Soccer League. That was the league Hamilton Croatia played in 2010, along with Toronto Croatia played in that league. So the CSL was a big league for a while, but it's not officially recognized as the professional league in FIFA. So you know that you had all sorts of, you know, it's a mishmash of, oh, he's running this league and this guy's running this league, and you know, so there's 7 professional leagues and you're trying to decipher which one is what. But now it's kind of, they're realigning everything, they're organizing it a bit better. So
Another thing, a few wonderful suggestions actually. A Gorsuch Bears tour together with Major Minor performing. That's a great
let's do
idea.
it.
I think that's
Major
a great
Minor.
idea.
Via Las Vegas.
Via Las Vegas, I'd have up there, minus my wife, just for a few days. That's all. But anyway, no. Another question I got. I don't know, you might be more aware, and it's a good question for Tony Grigic. What happened to the very famous Toronto, Croatia?
So Toronto Croatia, they were in our tournament, and then the last time they were there was 2010, and then as a club they decided to not play in the Croatian tournaments, and I really don't, you know exactly the details, what transpired to. They did play in a league for a while, and then they were in an indoor league. But I think with them, it was just uh, the guys running the team kind of once they stopped it, it kind of it was there, right? Nobody really wanted to revive it and put the money into it. Unfortunately, we do have some clubs like that that are, you know, 2, 3 guys run the club, and then you have some that are more like community based, that they have the house league. Toronto Croatia, their farm system mainly ran through Mississauga, Croatia. So they didn't have like a Toronto Croatia U21, a U18, a U17. And I think that was kind of why they were in the situation they were in. I know there were talks, like I've talked to guys like, hey, we want to bring Toronto Croatia back. It's like, listen, if you get the okay to have the name and the logo and, you do all the other things you have to do, we'd love to have them back. But yeah, it's actually unfortunate, like what happened, because they were such a big club and like Eusebio played for them and, they have a rich history, and then it kind of just, it fell off. And everybody I see like, oh, Toronto Christian, Toronto Christian. I'm like, yeah, they don't play in our Savas anymore. They don't play, as far as I know, they don't even play in a league anymore. And it's unfortunate.
Just for some of our younger viewers who probably wouldn't be aware, Toronto Croatia was basically the Melbourne Croatia, Sydney Croatia of North America back in the 70s, when they had a national soccer league back there in the 70s and 80s, which was just full of stars. And Eusebio, who was like a superstar for Portugal, actually played for Toronto Croatia, and they were playing against the likes of Pele, who was playing for the New York Cosmos. So
Cosmos, yeah.
Huge place. I mean, it was a different level at that time in the 70s. It was just, and playing in front of tens of thousands of people. So this was Toronto Croatia playing against these superstars and superstars in the team. So that's why that.
Yeah, and being a kid growing up, I remember going to Toronto Croatia games, and I was like, this is amazing. And then, I just think as more people as clubs got bigger, Toronto Croatia kind of, I guess, didn't have that funnel of players coming in. And then I really wish I could tell you exactly what happened, but I know if I say one thing, somebody in Toronto is gonna, get all upset. So maybe we can set up like a Toronto Croatia podcast of what actually happened and where they stand now.
That's a great idea.
But Josipe, thank you so much for joining us. You're an absolute
Not a
gentleman
problem.
we've seen tonight. What a fantastic way to bridge our two communities from here in Australia to everybody over there in Canada. You've been an absolutely fantastic representative of our Narod over there up in the Great White North with us here in the Great Brown Southern Land. It's been fantastic. Enjoy your trip. Enjoy it with your family, and they can hopefully reconnect with their roots over there, whether it's Tomislavgrad, Zagreb, or when you get to see Modric in Milan, or see Perisic in Czechia, and tomorrow morning or tonight you get to see Croatia play and sing the anthem and soak it all in. But thank you so much for taking time out of your holiday to join us tonight here on PodroomTV. It's been fantastic.
And thank you for having me on. I am going to make a couple plugs. Our website is hnnsna.com. That's our Savas website. So if anyone's ever interested in coming to a tournament or learning about information, they can go on that website. We have Instagram and Facebook links as well. And I want to say hi to everybody on the Gold Coast and everybody over there in Melbourne that treated me awesome when I was in New Zealand. I'm drinking Velo Visto here for Marco. And no, thank you guys. And next time I'm on this podcast, listen, we'll do it again. But one time we're gonna have to do it where I'm in the podroom, because that looks like a nice setup you guys got there.
And just a quick question also as well. I mean, it's so difficult to bring a whole team over to North America for the tournament, but as an individual, would you recommend someone to come up, with their family or by themselves, younger people,
Listen,
just to come up and be part of it? Is it an easy place to meet people?
Yes, I would recommend it for sure if families want to come. And even if guys want to put their foot and play, like test the waters out, all you have to do is, like, he could send an email and I'm sure a club would sign a player or two. I know there's always clubs that I'm like an agent when August hits, like, hey, I need a player. I need a left back. I need a strike. So if anyone's ever interested in, like, you know what, I'm not going to wait to get 20 guys. I'm jumping on a plane. I got a cousin that lives there. I'll bring my gear and I want to play. We can also try and set that up too.
Sounds
but
fantastic.
definitely come.
Is Oakville Livno? Is that Canada?
Oakville, yes, Oakville Livno is Canada. They're in our Savas as well. They're right now in the phase of putting in a men's team because a lot of their generation had kids. So now those kids are 17, 18. So I keep hounding them. I'm like, let the 17-year-olds play. Let them play with the men. Let them learn. But yeah, Oakville Livno. If you go on our website, you'll see all the clubs. You'll see the past winners that we had. You'll see that San Pedro was there last year. They won the tournament. Cleveland won this year. There's a whole history section, information. Our Savas board members are up there too. If you ever want to chat with a certain club, you could talk to them. Like, Yeah, honestly, there's so much information I could tell you about. I'm just trying to think of clubs I might not have mentioned. Streetsville Dalmatia, I don't think I said. So they're in there. Yeah, it's just New York, Poland. We got a couple New York. We got everybody. It's the website will have everything on there. You could see the standings and the groups from before. And yeah, we're open. There's teams that are there to party. There's teams that are competitive. It's a fun little mix and it's a good weekend.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So if you're available from Australia, get up there when it's on. Because when was it? August 29 was this year. Friday, August 29, Sunday. Most likely be around those same dates next year. So if you are going to the World Cup and you want to extend your holiday, and if Croatia does qualify, or Australia for that matter, then you can stick around for the tournament as well if you're trying to make a holiday out of it.
And one more thing, if you guys, I don't know if you guys do youth or anything like that, but there's ever any youth get-togethers or tournaments, have somebody contact me because I got parents waiting to go to Australia as well. So I'm trying to pitch that as a trip.
We'll work
I could
something
send
out. I think
yeah.
you're under 14 yourself, so we're looking around that 14, 15-year-old generation to come to Australia. We'll find something.
Okay, perfect.
But Josip, once again, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening and your holiday. And we look forward to hopefully one day meeting you in person, if not down here in Australia, then up there in Canada or one of the tournaments in North America there. But thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. Take care, guys.
All the best.
Bye now.
Laku noć. Dobar dan.
Well, there you go, Josip or Joey Rados from Canada. What a perspective.
I know he said he's making his way over to Italy, but I don't think the people of Rovinj would appreciate being referred to in that way.
But what a different perspective on the Croatian community from outside the country. Canada, North America. Look, Canada, I still feel is very much like Australia. A lot of them were that sort of post-World War II migrants. US, there's a lot of old 1800s. Like some of the people in West Australia or New Zealand have come out a long time before this second or third wave of migrants. But, I reckon it'll be a fantastic place to visit Canada. And not only that, getting out to those Crow clubs. We also had Canuck. Remember Canuck that played for Split? Tommy? So another great Canadian that passed through here. And he spent a fair bit of time down here and is an absolutely great bloke to have around. Also, Tamburash himself. So, but you can see there the link between church, folklore, Croatian language, and soccer, bringing it all together. And that's where they're seeing a rejuvenation in their community as well across North America.
And just a little known fact, actually, that when we're talking about Tamburica as well, that fender strats or fenders in general, the head on the fender is actually based on the shape of a Tamburica.
Well, there you go, mate. Is there anything we don't do?
Greek.
But before we get back to Tommy Gavran, a couple of other things that I need to mention as well. So a lot of people, like I said, thank you so much for reaching out. Doesn't matter if it's last minute, we'll still get it in somehow. So I got some flyers, some information come through over the last day, half day, last few hours. It doesn't matter. Flick it through, we'll get it up there. So first and foremost, celebrating 50 years. So Zagreb, Hrvatska folklorna skupina there in Wollongong, celebrating 50 years.
Wow.
Again, so we heard about, which one was it? The Milwaukee, 100 years?
Milwaukee. What if the Fonz went?
The Fonz at Laverne and Shirley doing the Bunjevački Tuesday. And Squiggy. But Saturday,
Richard Cunningham.
Richie Cunningham
was treasurer.
Yeah, Richie Cunningham.
Potsy.
No, Richie Cunningham. Richie Cunningham comes from Danny Utrish's cellar. So if you've ever seen Danny Utrish, Justin, and
Richie Cunningham's were the major sponsor.
Yeah, Georgievich, I think. Richie Cunningham, the big C. So Marty, if you're going to break my leg on Thursday, I've got one back for you. So that should negate.
Which is from that same cellar.
Is he? Oh, jeez. Maybe Potsy. Potsy is a Filipovic. Or Ralph Melf. Yeah, what? Ralph. Anyway, Hrvatska folklorna skupina Wollongong celebrating 50 years on the Saturday, the 18th of October, 2025, starting at 7 p.m.
Kosvira.
Kosvira. The band is named Kosvira.
There you go. There's going to be a plug for Major Moore.
Adult $60, pensioners $50, entry and dinner included, cash and card are accepted. At the Croatian Catholic Centre there at 2 Bellevue Road in Fig Tree. Band is Kosvira, and you can call Vicky on 0468 939 989. But jump on their socials. I've included on that flyer I believe that's the Instagram page where it gives you all the information there as well. So thank you to Julian and everybody that's reached out with that flyer. So I received that from a couple of people. So very active. Get out there, support it. 50 years, amazing for a small community. Again, Wollongong, not a massive community, not a big city centre like a Melbourne, Sydney, Adelaide. But they've done an amazing thing to make this go for 50 years.
You went to the tourney in Wollongong. Yeah, you did it.
I heard it was one of the best tourneys.
Yeah, I heard it was amazing.
Was one of the absolute best tournaments. And some people still say it's the best tournament they've ever been to.
It was a real community tournament, and every person that was part of that community in Wollongong just put up their hand and volunteered, and everyone just said had such a great vibe.
Exactly.
And then
right.
look at that, it's good to see that continuing. Like we said, even Newcastle, who have rejuvenated their club as well. So
another one that came through. So from Anthony Gurlica at the Croatian Studies Foundation, Alumni Night. So live music, 19th of September, starting from 6:30 at the Concord. So if you haven't been down there or you want to get down there again, at the Concord, to be honest, I can't see. It's not the alcohol. It's just the font on my screen. Is it actually? I can go full screen. No, the glasses won't help.
Oh, no, okay. That's it.
What's this called?
Still hard to see.
Now it's covered by, but everyone knows where the Concord is if you are up in Sydney. So
it's in Concord.
There you go. 19th of September 2025. Let me reduce screen. I won't reduce now.
No.
Ali, starting from 6:30, Alumni Night, Croatia Studies Foundation, again, doing fantastic things, keeping the language alive at a tertiary level and other levels as well. And we hope to have Anthony on the show soon. So we've kept you. We did speak to Anthony at the dinner more business lunch, and we haven't forgotten you, buddy. Our friend from Skabrina. Obviously, I need to get a plug in for anything these other. We've had enough of these Duvnjaci and whatever else. So we need some Zadrani. But
speaking about Skabrina, no, it's not. No.
But also speaking about music groups, so we talked about Canada. They've got within the space of an hour or two drive, they've got 7 or 8 different music groups. Was that music group from Canada? Was it Plava Norch?
Yes, I think so.
Were they Canadian or I had a tape, Plava Norch or Plavi Dim or something like that. There was a tape.
Well, I hope it was Plavi Dim.
Plavi Dim. But talking of boy bands, before before In Sync, before Miyashi and Leta Chiodre and all these other Gazda and whatever else, the biggest boy band that ever came out of Melbourne was a photo from 1994. 1994. This is taken at Tullamarine Airport before their first international tour.
Wow.
So if you can, starting from the top, left to right, you've got Ilya Dragicevic there, who's our Ronan Keating. Andrew Sobol, Borja Janko, a.k.a. What's his name? Ed Norton. Steve Vukasovic there in the top right-hand side as well, the Celtic jersey. Then going from the bottom across from the left, Dave Purvan, the old hacker. Look at that, the River Phoenix. My goodness. You got my good self there. I'm the front man, obviously the Mick Jagger of the group. And Yoshi there, Joe Hrubolic at the bottom right as well. But what a band, what a group that was.
I've seen that photo before.
We had one hit, and we were called Kulturno Umjetničko Društvo Jadna Majka. But also people have been asking about Spolger's perm. About his haircut. Now, I didn't manage to get a photo of his perm as such, but I got a photo before he went into the salon. So someone got a quick snap of him before he went into the salon to get the perm. And here's a young Spolge before he got So that's what Spolge looked like prior to the perm. So next week I'll try and get a photo from after he came out.
You know what? The hair was probably similar. The facial expression probably would have been after the perm.
But one final one also. So I did get a phone call. I actually spoke with Robbie Mlinutz. Rob Mlinutz there from Sydney last night. Rob is the deputy commissioner of the Low Lift Cornhole Association, also the master that made all of those cornholes that we mentioned last week. But involved with Braća Radić up there in Sydney, the folklore group. But they have their Zabava coming up on Saturday, the 25th of October, the Croatian Folkloric Festival at the Croatian Cultural Association, Bosna, 229 Luddenham Road in Orchard Hills. Gates open 3 p.m. Entry ticket $20. Rides band. You get that little wristband for $25. Cuisine, coffee van, ice cream truck, new carnival rides, etc. Live band is that Plumbing, I believe.
Oh man!
And the actual.
Can you make it bigger?
Can I make it bigger? Da vidimo. Grupa
Plamen.
Plamen, I believe. Student card, proof of age if you're under 18 years of age. But the folklore program will start at 5 p.m. Performances from local and interstate folkloric groups. Tickets available from New South Wales Croatian folkloric groups, and you can contact a number of people there. But
And that's actually huge. The big, massive weekend as it has been for many years, because I knew we always went up head to head against Oktoberfest, and but it's always had like literally thousands of people in attendance and kids. So probably a bit of a predecessor to this whole Croatian folkloric festival that's happening now. So and probably prove what can happen.
But the Bosta Club is party central. Yeah. It is party central, but Rob also sent through a number of clips from a Zabava that took place in the recent past. Let me just find the...
In the meantime, you talked about the Cornhole Association of the Southern Districts of the planet here, but it actually, people kind of cottoned onto it so much, and Dave Likota, who's been writing all sorts of messages here, has become so obsessed with it. He actually started making his board.
That's
he
right.
sent a photo
sent
through
us
with
photos of his board making skills.
yeah.
So hopefully it's up to specs. And he's getting the beanbags from Heart Sport, I believe it is, that provide them.
Yep.
But this was the footage from the Braća Radić Father's Day Zabava, which included the Croatian folkloric ensemble Vukovar. So we had the Mala Grupa from Braća Radić, the Velika Grupa from Braća Radić, Vukovar, and also an all-inclusive kolo at the end with all the groups involved. So we'll play you a very short clip, hopefully a fairly short clip, of some of the festivities that took place at the Braća Radić Father's Day Zabava recently. Right.
You can hear the pipes working overtime here today. I don't know what's happened. I don't know what was for dinner, but it sounds pretty exotic.
Yeah, I think it was a Father's Day Thai special that we passed through the dining room. But we're back here with Tommy Gavran. Obviously, we had to cut our conversation short a little bit earlier, but you could see there that. But there was one message that came through the chat. I did pop it up before, but Ante Babic says that the increase of female viewership has been za naš Gavran. So not so much for Joey Rados, but for Mr. Gavran himself.
He's
which
a good man, Barbel. Good friend. That's a good friend.
Yeah, that is a good friend.
That's right. And we don't doubt him for a while. He was at church on Saturday, so Čovjek ne laže. He's telling the truth. He's already been to Ispoved if he did lie about that, but no doubt the ladies. But one quick one before we start. Sorry, I have to get this one out there. Paul Šarić, Geelong.
Yes, that was what I was going to bring up.
He is asking, we need a small two-piece band for New Year's Eve. Can you boys put it out for the Dom Geelong? So there is a two-piece band out there available. The two-piece band that were at the Braća Radić footage that we saw earlier were Mirko and Kemo. So just to make sure that I let everybody know. But Geelong, Dom is looking for a two-piece band for New Year's Eve for their Zabava. If anybody is available, please let Paul Šarić know or reach out to either ourselves or...
How good was that two-piece band that was at Dandy City last night, which was the two Kvesic brothers?
Mate, the violin in the squeeze box can't go wrong.
No, they are absolutely killing it. They are everywhere at the moment.
And they travel from there in Ballarat most of the time, aren't they?
So they go from Ballarat to Dandy. For
Ballarat during the week. On the weekends, they might pop into Melbourne. When they do, they're either at the Knights or at Dandy or whatever. They're all everywhere. Yeah, so it's fantastic. Two young musicians who are doing great things and entertaining our narod with our music, which is fantastic. But Tommy,
yes,
where do we finish? Where do we stop? Dandy City in the finals. It's been a bit of a mixed season for our clubs in the NPL. So you've got Dandy City. Look, I won't say scraped into the top 6. I reckon they were always looking to get into the top 6. I reckon there were times that I thought they'd even finish higher than 6th. Now with Preston sort of faltering with 6 or 7 rounds to go, Dandy, you know, if they got a couple. But what happened when Preston dropped points? Dandy didn't quite get the points that they need, or however it worked. In the end, we got in, beat Dandy, Thunder. You beat Avondale. You're going to play Heidelberg. Then you look at the flip side. Yeah, Dinamo had a very strong finish. Couple of games at the end were dead rubbers anyway. They weren't going to make the finals. Not going to get relegated, but had a fantastic season otherwise, I think, on paper. And then all the way further down, you got the Melbourne Knights, who unfortunately for the first time in their history have been relegated. And like all three of us in this room, we're all proud supporters, members, long-time, you know, friends and lifers at Melbourne Knights. They've unfortunately been relegated. Now, Dandy's been in that position. Yeah, a lot of clubs have been in that position where they get relegated. They might struggle for a year or two, or sometimes bounce straight back up. How do you think Melbourne Knights will find their journey now in VPL, I suppose? And how hard is it to get out? So you might have seen, you might have been a part of clubs or played or whatever it might have been that have been relegated and come back up. How hard is it to get back up once you've gone down? In real terms.
Yeah, it is difficult. I mean, I haven't gone down and back up with the club. Unfortunately, I didn't get that opportunity.
You've only gone down with the club?
I've just gone down. It's just gone down. Haven't gone back up. Didn't get that opportunity at North to try and get them back up after we got relegated at North Geelong a couple of years ago. But I've seen, obviously, with North Geelong, with Dinamo, and with Dandy, they've sort of gone up and down a couple of times. And it is difficult. I think it's, you know, once you're out there, you need to put in, you know, the biggest effort possible to keep yourself up there, because once you go down, it is hard to get back up. And as you saw with North Geelong, there was a double relegation, and you know, fortunately they've had a good year and they've gone back up. You just need stability. I think stability is the key, both on and off the field. You know, we're fortunate enough at Danny that we've got a pretty strong, you know, coaching staff. You know, before I came up, been there now, this is my second year there, but Tolsey and the other coaches, they've been together as a coaching group for a number of years. They're at Bentley Greens together, and obviously at Kingston they started together as well. I've sort of just entered into that group in recent times, but they've proven that they've got results with teams that they've been at. So I think it's just that stable environment, and you build that relationship with players as well. So again, Tolsey's got that relationship with players that have before, and half our squad has played with him previously as well. Yeah, I think it's just putting in the resources to be able to acquire the physio. We've got, you know, 2 physios that regularly attend all our trainings and match days as well as some the sort of therapists that help with the boys with their recovery and their massage and preparation for games and trainings as well. So we've got quite a big team off the field as well. So yeah, and I think the key is just having a really good atmosphere, having a good change room, making sure that there's, you know, no internal sort of fighting and bickering. I mean, there's always going to be players that are upset that aren't starting, and we've experienced that this year as well. And people want to be starting in the first 11, but on the whole, we've got a pretty good change room, you know, led by a couple of strong leaders in the likes of Jack Webster and Kenny Athu, who've been there and done that and have won titles as well, to have that mix of experience as well as some good youngsters as well, which have proven that we've got. And like I said, just stability on and off the field really helps.
And just taking off your, like, I know you're quite an accomplished trainer, but taking off that hat and putting on your community hat, because you're a community boy, and that you just sort of have to put things in perspective now in the last, and think about it. Then you stop here and you're going, Dandy City are in the NPL final, and you have to just stop and think, this is Chelsea Hajduk that is in the NPL final coming up against Heidelberg. And if said to you in 2005, let's say not even that. So when before the move to Dandy, which was I think about 2008, when they took over, well, you know, merged with Dandy City. You say in 2007, someone came up and said, Knights are going to get relegated in 2025, and Chelsea Hajduk is going to be in the final in 2025. I mean, it's actually mind-boggling, isn't it? I mean, that you got to stop it, like, as a club, and you can see that's why they were celebrating last night. I mean, whether, you know, what the result is on Sunday, not that it's insignificant, it is very significant, but just getting this far is huge for this club. I mean, what's the atmosphere like around there? People sort of, you know, stopping and going, hang on, how the hell did we get here?
Yeah, it is like you wouldn't have dreamt about it. Like it's who would have thought, like you said, playing back out in where they used to play in Edithvale
Yeah.
at that old facility, before the merger with Dandy City, and they've worked their way up, through the divisions, and find ourselves in this position now. Whereas some other clubs are unfortunately going the other way at the moment, but hopefully some better times ahead for those clubs. But I think there's a core of people. Like at any club, you find that core that have been at that club for a long time, and there's a fairly strong southern contingent of Croatians, as we all know.
Yeah.
We've all had friends, from the south that we sort of grew up hanging out with, and we used to sort of see, and a lot of them were Melbourne Croatia supporters. And everyone, to this day, still says that we're all Melbourne Croatia supporters, and
played there as well.
The likes of Joey Dayhead and
But a lot of old faces. I think there was also somebody put up a comment, I think somewhere, that they were happy to see a lot of the old Chelsea Haydock people back there yesterday, back at the game, back at the club, and no doubt we'll see even more turning up on Sunday at Lakeside. I think, because the old days at Chelsea Haydock, like I said, once I was asked to come and trial.
Yeah.
I don't do auditions for anybody. There's no chance. But I did go down once via Bulleen. It took me about an hour and a half or something to get to Edithvale, but I've been to birthday parties down there, and that was a real old school. Yeah. It was like a shed almost. I remember the whole pool table but it was a very
like a scout hall, like an old scout hall.
Dandy City, I think Dandy City's got a lot of potential to grow. Unfortunately, I think they've got some issues with the council about being able to expand the club rooms because of some native frogs or something in the back, and they're asking for 80 grand for some 80 grand for an environmental report.
Yeah,
I'll do an environmental report by poison everything, poison seed, ni žaba, ni ptica, ni ništa. But I think they've definitely got a room to grow. If they can get this win, it really puts them on the map. Because Heidelberg has put themselves, obviously Heidelberg's an old club. They've played NSL. They've created Socceroos and then players of great repute. But Dandy will really put themselves on the map. One, coming from sixth, and two, beating Heidelberg in a final in the NPL after being playing lower leagues for a very long time, being almost displaced, having to merge, and then after all these years of hard work, getting into a final. If they can win it, it'll be absolutely massive. I reckon that party, Better won't drive a bus for a month. What's the feeling amongst the boys like? Is it have any of them played finals? Like as in like a grand final, play for a club?
Well, Jack Webster, our captain, has won, I think, about 4 titles with Bentley Greens. He was the captain with Bentley Greens, so he's been there, done that. Kenny, I'm not sure if he won it with Heidelberg. I don't think he has.
But he's played A-League as well. So
with Melbourne Victory as well. And we've got boys that have got finals experience as well. So, the vibe's good. I mean, we're keeping things pretty simple, like I said, and, we're not really making a big deal out of things. We're trying to keep everyone's feet on the ground. Hence why, like I said earlier before, we're on mute earlier in the interview. The players didn't go back to the club last night. We really left that for the fans and the supporters to celebrate. The coaches went home. We want this week to be as normal as possible. But obviously, we're quietly confident. You sort of talked about some of the stats earlier, and winning, our last 2 finals. We've continued to make history because it's the first side that, obviously they got promoted from the old NPL 1 into NPL 2 years ago with Toles and the rest of them before I come on board. And since then, last year, we made the finals in our first year, which is the first time anyone's ever done that in the current NPL format. And then now it's the first team ever to go from 6th place to reach the grand final. So we're sort of, kind of tearing up the record books every sort of week. So hopefully one more week to go. And like I said, we're quietly confident. People haven't given us a chance, but we're going in as the form team. We're undefeated in 12 weeks now, so 12 games consecutively. We haven't lost, and in that time we've won 7 and drawn 5. So we're going in full of confidence, like you said earlier, 2 clean sheets as well.
Yeah. And scoring goals, like the last game of the season or whatever it was against, second last game against the Knights. How many goals was that?
7-1.
7-1. So like our team can score goals, like it's not just defensive, but it's all of those things. But it was a real shame that yesterday's game happened at 2:00 on a Sunday on Father's Day, which just goes. It just furthers this whole, reputation that the NPL and Football Victoria is just insane. And it's proven over and over again who plays a semi-final at 2:00 on Father's Day. But this Sunday, potentially, there could be potentially be thousands of people supporting Dandy City. Probably the biggest crowd that Dandy City has ever had behind it.
Yeah, well, sort of looking through the the record books, and the last time a Croatian team in Victoria made the final was Dinamo back in 1998. No one's made an NPL, VPL final
long,
since
long
then.
It was
time.
at Middle Park,
So
and they
they-
were against the RMN.
No, it was at Bob Jane, the old Bob Jane.
Was it Bob Jane?
Yeah, they lost 2-1 to Bulleen Kings, I think they were called at the
Yeah,
time.
after 75 mergers, they
Um,
became the
yeah,
Bulleen
but they
Kings.
won the minor premiership that year as well, and unfortunately lost in the final. But yeah, there's been no Croatian team. Obviously, the Knights have won.
Yeah, we saw their lineup earlier. The
Yeah, it was
Dinamo
still the
team from
lineup.
Australia.
So that was a
Yeah.
long time ago. It was pre 98.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the Knights won the Doherty Cup in that time. But we haven't, a Croatian team from Victoria, from Melbourne, hasn't made the final. So I'm
absolutely
obviously
huge.
here imploring all the Croatians to come out. And like we've been saying recently, as long as there's a good on that top and the good old checkerboard, we should be supporting all our Croatian teams and getting right behind us, and hopefully get thousands of people this Sunday.
Well, you'd hope so, yeah.
Now, have the surfaces you've played on the last couple of weeks also potentially helped the cause? Because look, to be honest, the surface, the last game, I think, was it the Knights was the last home game?
The
Yeah.
last home game was against the Knights. Yeah.
From a YouTube perspective, it didn't look particularly flash. Possibly.
In live perspective, it looked even worse.
There you go. So Dandy Thunder didn't look too bad. Avondale's obviously is a pretty good
Dandy's wasn't
surface.
great either. Dandy Thunders is pretty bad as
Pretty
well.
bad as well. But now
Yeah.
you've got Lakeside, which is probably amongst the
Yeah.
better surfaces we've got in this
Yeah.
state and probably in this country. The boys are looking forward to playing on a top
100%.
quality pitch.
Well,
And
we thrive on away games as well. So our away record against the top six, I think, is the best in the league. So yeah, we've got a really good away record. The boys love playing, away from home, just because of that reason. Obviously, there's the surface, but they will play anyway. Obviously, our home record was better this year than it was last year. But yeah, we've got a really strong away record playing at Lakeside. We've got a couple of results in the last couple of games. We've played South Melbourne there as well, so we'll go there full of confidence. The last time we played Heidelberg, which was about 6 or 7 weeks ago, we drew with them 2-2 at Olympic Village. And our lineup will be somewhat different to what it was that day as well. We've actually lost a couple of players since then. A couple of boys that were missing, like I said earlier, will be back in the lineup as well. So yeah, we're quietly confident, and our sort of motto has kind of been why not us? We sort of said that pre-game yesterday.
right.
Why not us? No one's really given us a chance, and they're probably not going in going, oh, we've got to be on our games. We're playing Dandy today, and subconsciously teams are probably just taking us too lightly. And we've got some quality. We've got some quality in our squad. We've got boys that can create some damage in that attacking third, like you said.
Absolutely.
We've got the likes of Will Bauer and Timmy Atharinos, and Kenny Athu's been great in the last month for us. As that
All
sort
he
of
needs is
hold-up
10
player.
seconds, man. That's
All he
all he
needs is
needs.
that, and then we've got impact off the bench too. We've got players like Brad Plant coming off the bench, and Diego Cuba, and these are quality boys that could walk into most 11s. So I think we've been underestimated a little bit, and yeah, we'll go in full of confidence. Light week this week, making sure that recovery's the key this week, and a lighter week this week as well, which has kind of been the norm the last few weeks at this stage of the season. So yeah, full of confidence, but we don't have this cockiness either. Like, we're just sort of taking it like any. I know it's a cliche, but literally the last sort of few weeks has just been like any other game. Like the last 2 finals, training hasn't been any different. We've kept it sort of pretty lighthearted. Not too much in terms of pre-game meetings or sort of pre-training meetings. We do our standard analysis on the opposition and send it out to the boys and have our general chats. But yeah, we keep it simple. That's probably another thing that sort of told you nice to keep fairly simple too. A few clear messages and out we get.
Getting on to some serious matters though too,
Yeah,
not
here we
just
go.
football. It's, Rose has said it's nice to have a bit of eye candy on the show that isn't wearing Charlie. No offense, like so.
hello, ladies.
Hang on, is Rose upstairs?
Mr. Radar said, it's a long trip to Australia. 24 hours it takes from Canada to Australia. It takes me 6 hours to Podroom to my bedroom on a Monday night. So 24 hours is nothing. You're traveling halfway across the world. But
And not to mention knocking on the locked door in the bedroom. Zlato. From
earlier, Josip Zilic said you guys are muted. I think he may have missed a spell check of munted. Anthony Goodles, give us a thumbs up.
Actually, speaking of Josip Zilic, he asked a very pertinent question. Will Gavran dye his hair blonde for the final like he did in his playing days?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I went through a bit of a tips stage. I used to get my hair tipped, and even though I did have sort of light hair, I used to make it even lighter. And yeah, my nonchalant playing days. There's a lot of photos with my
I'll never forget your terry toweling hat.
my terry toweling hat. I used to wear,
Oh, very stylish.
He's a terrible. Is that a stylish, is it?
Yeah, well, it was then.
I've worn many
It's
hats.
never been Terry Telling hat has never been, other than Dennis or Rod Marsh wearing it in the Ashes of 1974. I don't think a Terry Telling hat.
Well, in the 90s was very stylish amongst those that
Anglers Tavern or something.
that was very stylish amongst those that used to consume a lot of biscuits.
I love my.
I'm just gonna say that.
I love my cricket, and I played for the school cricket team growing up as well. And I didn't have the whites like all the Aussies did.
Yeah.
So you'd wear like I remember wearing a Melbourne Knights white polo top and that Terry Telling hat.
Yes, that's right. That's a
regular
that's
boonie.
what it was.
It's the boonie, but Jakov Rimac, I can't show the photo, Jakov, but there are a couple of our under-11 boys from Sydney United got to meet the team at their hotel this morning, and we'll put it up next week. But there's a couple of Sydney United juniors with Luka Modric in the hotel, looks like in the foyer there, holding up a Sydney United scarf. So what an absolutely amazing experience for those young people to be able to see. But we did receive, in the meantime, I think Tony Topčić did flick something through to us.
About
Did he go?
In relation
I was just trying to get that photo that's from the 1995 Adelaide Grand Final, the youth Grand Final.
I sent that through.
Yeah, you did. I'm just trying to get that.
All right, so here we go. There's Tony's. Melbourne Knights Football Club are inviting all soccer fans in our entire community to the MPL pre-grand final game supporting Dandy City. Drinks and last man standing draw this Sunday, 14 September, starting at 1 p.m. at Melbourne Knights, and will be done by about 4:30 with stand-up function for food in the VIP room. $100 per ticket entry to the draw. So if you need to buy a ticket for the last man standing, $100, as it has been all the way through. Due to overwhelming support by the community, our first prize is now $15,000.
15,000.
15,000. Ovako, America. I could go straight to Tomislavgrad and buy the Općina and the Županija buildings and still have money left over. to fly to Canada.
Hard Rocks.
Yeah, Hard Rocks Cafe Livno. Oh, yeah, the Hard Rocks Cafe.
Oh, yeah.
Hard Rock.
It had 3 Fs. I bought the t-shirt. It had 3 Fs in the cafe. So 1 p.m. will be done by 4:30. If you still need a ticket, $100 a ticket, $15,000 prize money, plus a few surprises. After the draw, we head off to Bob Jane to watch Hajduk with catch-up after the game at Dandy City. We assume it'll be 100%. It'll be just like when Knights won the championship in 95.
Oh.
Everyone came back to Summer Street if you weren't stuck in Horsham blowing chunks.
Yeah. Minus some statue heads.
For those that wanted to stay back at the Knights, our VIP bar will be open for purchase of drinks after 5 p.m. onwards with live streaming of the game. So if there are those that aren't able to get down to Bob Jane for whatever reason, work the next day,
They're
or
legless.
mangled from the kids from watching the under sevens, which often happens. Hope to have a great day supporting Dandy Hajduk and Melbourne Knights with the last man standing draw. So Topčić, I'll scratch my nose. We got the message and we have read it out. Definitely. So Sunday, Crow Cup, followed by Dandy City playing in the final against Heidelberg United. Let's everybody, if we can get there physically, get there.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be just a Luditsa. Yeah. If there is something at Dandy City beforehand, some people be at Knights. If there's something at Dandy, pre-drink, something a little bit more quiet, I guess. Otherwise, no doubt, those pubs around Clarendon Street will be pretty full. It's called Cricketers Arms. What's that joint called? The Scaro sister used to own it. Right towards Bob Jane. It's on the when you're heading down from the city towards Bob Jane. It's on the left-hand side. It's pretty much the last pub. The Cricketers Arms or the something Arms.
Used to meet there.
Yeah, that was a Crow-owned pub. Probably still is. No doubt there'll be pubs all over Clarendon Street that are full of Dandy City supporters getting on it and enjoying the day. But it's going to be fantastic.
I go with actually. I think about that. You know what? Heidelberg lost their first game of the season to the Melbourne Knights.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
No reason why they can't lose their last game of the season to Dandy City.
Perfect.
Dave Bosch.
I know.
Dave Bosch and King Kenny was at Heidelberg. Maybe he's got a little bit of a point to prove.
Yeah,
nobody
absolutely.
But it's going to be a fantastic day and an event. You know what I mean? It's not all about the soccer. Soccer's one thing. Obviously, on the field, it's all about the soccer, the 90 minutes. But it's an event. It's everything that surrounds it, whether it's before the game, after the game, during the game. Is there going to be an open training session? Will the training on normal nights? Is there going to be a...
We've got kangaroos at our training sessions, mate. So if kangaroos are welcome, anyone else is
Have
welcome.
they had anything to do with the surface? Is it kangaroos
definitely,
possibly that have done...
we find a kangaroo on our pitch like most nights when we rock up for training and we're setting up. So there's some big ones too.
What nights are training this week down at Dandy City?
We're keeping it pretty light. So Wednesday, Friday this week. So we're giving the boys a couple of nights off after yesterday's game, but they're sort of sending through all their recovery photos and videos that they need to do over the next 2 days. But yeah, Wednesday and Friday. Last Friday, the club put on a good feed for us after training on Friday and cooked up a best steak I've had for years. So they spent about, I think, $600 on steaks and fed the boys after training on Friday. So we might as well keep up the tradition. And if anyone's watching from the club, maybe do it on Friday again for us.
I'd like to see some recovery photos from Ivica Bacic and Tim Šimunic, possibly from some of the footage that I saw in Scalzi. Let's see some recovery photos from those boys and see if they deserve a steak on Friday.
Yeah, they'll be in fine form this week.
Actually, talking about the food there at Dandy, we were actually talking. The food there is
great.
second to none.
Yeah, it's very
Go
good.
pork belly there, or get a snapper there. I went there one. I don't know if it was Good Friday this year or last year. Absolutely beautiful. It was a great night, a great day to be there with the family and celebrate that blood done. You know, like with everyone, and get out to Dandy because you know what, you're going to get a good feed there. So
Oh, and
it's
the
not
fish-
just on a.
And the fish nights are legendary there as well. So
Yeah.
we get down there as much as we can. But yeah, like we said, who was it? Mladi Hrvati, I've seen on the same night, you had Dinamo had a table there. You know, it's fairly limited spots available, but get down there. There's entertainment. It's just a great night all round down at Dandy City because, look, it's a fantastic club and fantastic people all the way through. Now, we've got Joey Rados has sent us through a nice message. Thanks again for the interview. It was nice getting to chat with you guys. If you ever need any contacts, please let me know. I can get you in touch with the clubs from North America. Our president, Brian Chupin, also had several contacts with caller groups also. So folklore groups, if you are still tuned in and you'd like contact with anyone in North America, so the US and Canada, reach out to PodroomTV or jump on the hnns.na, I think was the
I
website.
think you missed an M.
There's a lot of
A lot of N's in there.
Yeah, but
There was.
Croatian National...
There's none. Yeah.
I thought when you said you're going to interview Joey Rados, it was the infamous Joey Rados with the big.
Talking about perms. We're talking about perms.
Exactly right.
Lives down the road from my parents.
That's it.
Lives around the corner.
There you go, get him in.
Joey Rowe, the greatest perm of the NSL era ever.
A black perm.
And
That was absolutely magnificent.
And
also
wonderful
the-
tasty music. Yeah.
Did he? He was
Yeah,
a bit
he's
of a
a
hard and fast
He
Wednesday
was,
nights
he
and,
was,
we
very
were at
much
Cat House.
so.
Never forget his,
He was a-
remember on the ball when he got
Yeah.
voted, when he got nominated for I think Young Player of the Year or Goalkeeper of the Year. They
Perm of the Year.
showed him as a
Him and
sparky
Branko
at work
Milosevic, they
Yeah.
won, they joint winners. They equal votes for the best perm.
and- for the first perm.
and
Black one,
and
blonde.
Carl Viet.
And convenience.
Viet. Remember Vladovic in that
Yeah.
interview? Viet, I fucking see you on Sunday. And then
Is that what I want to say something? Was that? Was that?
That was Rus.
Yeah. Was
you
it
are
the
all
second?
like my children. You must fucking win on Sunday. So, but
I'd like to say something.
that was a great video. If you ever want to jump on YouTube, there's a video of Andrew Marth interviewing the players was it the 93, 92, 93 grand final against Adelaide City when Maury hit that bomb.
Yeah.
And Vanish was the one that was jockeying him all the way from the tram
the
tracks on
back
Swan
foot.
Street.
On
He
the
pretty
back
much
foot.
he fell into the Yarra almost.
Revink was described as the new Milan Blagojevic. A young Milan Blagojevic.
There is that photo.
I can't remember that.
It's got in that photo. Check out his Gabs. Oh my goodness.
So you got to put that up. You got to put that up. We got to discuss
Is that on
that.
WhatsApp? If that's on WhatsApp,
It's on WhatsApp. It's on
let
WhatsApp.
me,
I sent it- I sent it-
apologies if
That's why it took me
if
about
the screen-
37 minutes. to
check
send
out
it
the
to you.
screen
Before the
disappears.
famous.
No, I look at this photo every day.
Do you?
Yeah, I do because it's in Lucha's office.
Okay.
The screen won't disappear, but I'm currently on WhatsApp. Just need to download this particular photo, and there are
What a team, mate,
some
what a
there are some glave in this.
We want to talk about talent and the Melbourne Knights and the Croatia community producing
And
talent.
how many are Croatian there?
Right, I'm saying this is what we got.
I don't know,
I think
man.
we're going to discuss this.
Everyone
We're
except
gonna-
for
Look, it's up for debate. It's up for debate. How
Up for
many are
debate.
Croatian?
and this was prior to the Knights maiden championship winning.
Yeah, we played right beforehand.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
before that. So won both games.
We beat
Yeah, on that
Parra Hills
day.
Knights 4-1 that day.
That was an amazing day. I don't
Best
remember
days
much.
of my
but-
life, and then catching a
Oh,
flight
look at
back
this.
to Melbourne.
Okay, look at
Check it
this.
out. It's
Now,
not up yet. I need to save it first.
so I can
Save
see it.
as to my little
Sorry about the viewers.
The
They're
Barca
not
was at the
important.
game
my
yesterday.
little staff that's
Yeah,
plugged
we
into
were
the
flying back
side. That's why I
from
disappeared
Adelaide,
before.
and
If anyone
all the
wanted to know
guys
why I
were
left,
waiting, and they thought that we were the seniors.
I didn't go for a
Massive
smoke.
ball.
I jumped out to
There you go. So Tommy said he's come back like with the youth team before, walked off the plane at the airport, and everyone's waiting at the airport
Yeah.
for the seniors. They've come out with their Knights tracksuits, and everyone's made a massive roar for them, thinking they're the seniors.
Yeah.
And it was just them that just
Just
won their
us.
National Youth League.
Yeah.
National Youth League
It
champions.
would have been
but-
Ivan Maric in his mustard shirt. He would have been amongst
Yeah.
those that. So
At the
apologies.
same time, there was horse racing going on in the Adelaide Dome car park.
If the screen disappears, hopefully not, there will be a photo coming up very, very soon. What's his? Not accessible.
Probably should have planned this stuff, but we don't plan anything. So that's how we roll. Yeah.
Nights one. Here we go. Hopefully we'll pop up now.
Let's
You
see.
guys have come a long way, I must say.
Must be. Technology is absolutely flying.
Technology.
Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
Look at this.
Make bigger, please. Please make bigger.
It's processing. We can't make it any bigger for the viewers. We can make it bigger for us.
So we know who's there.
All right.
I can name them all for you.
How do we do it bigger? Yeah, it's a good question. Shall we got to get rid of us?
Because we've got Tommy on here now, so we've got to talk about
All right,
it. We've got to
let's
celebrate
now
this.
have a look. From left to right, standing.
Look at him.
Wilson, Wally,
There you
Knežević.
go. First senior game of official NSL game in the grand final against Marconi in the
There you go.
96 grand final.
Not only a goalkeeper extraordinaire, but also a television actor.
Yes, absolutely.
Blue
Blue
Healers.
Healers.
Jump
Blue
onto
Healers.
IMBD and you will
Plays the
see.
Negativas.
That's right. You will see him on the Feds or Phoenix or whatever.
Some would argue.
I can't say why he played Negativas. Look at that. Look at him.
And I'm not sure why everyone's wearing Adidas, but he's wearing Rush. That's all good.
That was his sponsor.
And then we got there again. I'm not allowed to talk about him too much, but Dad actually told me off because I've given Marty Respitic a lot of shit over the last few months. So my man goes, "Pusti chovik," and then I go, "All right, okay, I can't." Just like my mum told me off yesterday for not letting Spolge talk enough on the show. She goes, "Ti samo pričaš i on se samo smije." I onda mora piti, onda čovjek se opije i ne može kući.
Ali moram priznati da je meni jako lijepo ovdje u podrumu. Onda obećavam.
Onda.
Sve je meni dobro. Jer inače ja ne smijem pričati kod kuće niti ovdje. Meni je sve jedno te isto.
So we've got Marty Respitic there next to Wally. We've got Jason Bukadin. There you go. Marchak, his old man, lives literally just a few streets down. Next bloke there, I can't say
It's
that.
Nick Raguž.
Nick Raguž, there you go.
A star in his day, but
Nick Raguž.
unfortunately went a little bit.
And Mark
astray.
Barchak there.
Mark Barchak, yeah, saw him yesterday.
Kruni Razov.
Jinky Johnny
Jelincic. That's Chagal.
That's Chagal, yeah.
My goodness. And then Luke
Kajal.
Oh, Adrian Kajal.
Kagalj.
That's like Harry Catcheroon.
Yeah.
And you got Luch Stolica. And then starting from left to right at the bottom.
Yeah.
That Joe Raya,
Joey Rayhead, yeah.
Steve Casson,
Castle,
Paul Morgan, Ilya Dragicevic,
Yeah.
Paul Magdic. And there's, look at that. We left best till last. Look at that young buck there.
face.
Tommy Governor, look at that. What size? That was extra small, that jersey, wasn't it?
And Paul Magdic looked like he's getting like too close.
Yeah.
Comfort there.
So,
Yeah,
I was only
hand on
16,
Ilya.
16
like
at
this,
that
I was always suspicious of him and Ilya when we used to go to the grain store there on King Street. They always Paul's listening.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Ilya doesn't look like he minds too much.
Paul's listening. What an all-star lineup, but also characters, and most of these guys are still in the community in some form or another, and they're around, and you see them, everywhere. But what an absolute
good memories, man.
team that is.
There, so, great
and that was
Pre
Knights-
on Hindmarsh, so we won the final against Parra Hills Knights 4-1 that day, and that was to win the Southern League final because of the game that got delayed because of was a delay in the game when we ended up playing when Duca scored the hat trick.
South Melbourne, when I was just pissing there.
That was a midweek game, and then our game got cancelled because of the rain, so we weren't meant to play before the Knights in the rain. And that was meant to be the final, but then we played the Southern League final that day, and then we beat Parra Hills Knights, and then the week afterwards we had to play the national final against Sydney United. So we went up.
How'd you go?
Went up to Denzel Park, but that was the stage where they had all the young Socceroos in their team, the locker pitch,
Milicic
and
and
Milicic and all of them, and we ended up losing only 1-0 to them. But then 2 years later, we beat them 1-0.
Robbed.
Yeah,
Amazing. But that was an amazing afternoon there.
I slept through the game. We didn't have accommodation. We slept in some motel. I slept on broken glass. And there was a bomb threat at the Dom, and we were forced out of there. We had no accommodation booked, but I slept throughout the whole youth game. And Luch Stolic's old man actually had to kick me to see if I was alive to wake me up for the final. Knocked back a couple of Coopers, and next thing you know, up on the fence, bomber jacket on, shibe. Ante Grabovac. 1 a.m., Dandy Tawny had no idea where the car was, ran into some kangaroo in the bush or some kangaroos in the bush.
Yeah.
We ran out of there real quick. So a lot
They're
of
still there, mate.
native
They're still
wildlife.
there.
Is that why the environmentalists don't let them
Well, so it's an
expand their
interesting
bloody-
story there. I think part of the club is actually owned by the city of Dandenong. Another section of the club is owned by the city of Casey. and then there's a section that is owned by the state government. So that's why there's like a three-way tussle about who's meant to do
I reckon
what.
we need to run a train line through there, and
Yeah.
they'll let you build up to 20 floors. No dramas. Yeah, odd, mate. Absolutely
Put a
odd,
concrete
mate.
slab.
Well, good luck to Danny. Get revenge on John A scoring 2 goals in the NSL Grand Final in 1999. I was there, unfortunately. That was the unveiling of that massive Melbourne Knights flag that Mario Chavard and I
Oh,
put
yes.
together, which is
Where did
ironic
that
because
finish?
Sydney United.
Where is
played-
that banner?
It's probably somewhere under the Viduka stand. I'm not sure.
That was a legendary banner, the old, that one there. There you go, Johnny A. And he's done pretty well as a coach as well. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
he's
Oh,
one
no,
of,
you know what? Hats off to Johnny A. He's done very well. And it's good to see like these old NSL figures you want to see. And just to show what politics is like in soccer, how can he not have had a gig in the A-League? It's actually, that's disgraceful.
Yeah. No, exactly right.
Right.
Because
He's been an assistant, but not a head coach. In
Yeah.
the league, yeah.
But it's not good enough.
I think
Yeah.
he will be at some stage very soon.
Yeah.
But they'll have to headhunt it. I think that now he can ask his price rather than trying to get into some gig assistant coach at Mariners or whatever. I think now that he will be approached and he can
it's
say,
funny. I think it's the the MPL's thriving at the moment. Like 2 weeks ago when we had the two, MPL sides in the semi-finals of the Australia Cup, and plus we played that night against Thunder and had about 2,500 people, and then
At the same time, which was,
yes, silly. Then there was about 3,500 at the Preston Oakley game.
That's right.
That was probably one of the best MPL weekends ever for Victorian football. And
We think about Heidelberg's in the final.
yeah,
Avondale made the
100%.
semi-finals. Like
Yeah,
it just
good
goes to show
crowds.
that Victorian
But
football.
what I was sort of alluding to is it's getting to that point where a lot of players don't want to go to the A-League because they can make a good living in the MPL on top of working, and it might be like that for the coaches now too. Like when it's so unpredictable, the A-League, and obviously what's happened with Western United, why would Johnny A now risk a full-time gig and go to an A-League club? He's probably better off going overseas.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of good, there's a lot of players I think have been been the case for years that
Yeah.
haven't gone to the A-League and been good enough, but probably even better than some of those in the A-League. But why would you when you're getting paid decent amount in the MPL
Exactly right.
and got a good steady job as well on top
Exactly
of
right.
that?
I think the next move for JA might be overseas, unless he obviously sticks it out with Heidelberg for the next few
maybe
years.
go to Japan, from Japan to Scotland,
Yeah,
from
of
Scotland
course.
to the Premier League, and who knows, man, because that's how Postecoglou did it. And another guy from Malvern City who made his way through South Melbourne, and next thing you know, he's coaching Tottenham
He
Hotspur.
coached at Western Suburbs too.
And with suburbs as well.
Yeah, he coached
Oh,
at
that's where the
Western
cash
Suburbs.
used to be.
Yeah.
Suburbs used to throw the cash like no tomorrow.
So here we go, Tony Grigic again. Bit of trivia. What town in Croatia did both national winning
Zadar.
youth league
Zadar.
probably, but national youth league winning coaches come from that coach Melbourne Croatia Knights to national championships? Who was a youth coach? Who was a coach?
No,
there?
when you said Tony,
So no, you've been
I zoned out.
There's a bit of
Sorry.
bit of trivia. What town in Croatia
Yeah.
did both national winning youth league coaches
Oh, let me
come from
guess.
the coach Melbourne Croatia
I'll
Knights?
guess. Metkovic.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, who was the coach?
Is he talking about our?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I guess so.
Sveta wasn't it? Is he alluding?
Sveto Metkovic, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did go Metkovic.
Big
Oh, there you
Horvat,
go.
who was it? No, who
Oh,
else
who's
did
the
you
other
have?
one?
I had Sveto as a coach, and then I had who else did I have as a coach in the youth team? My God,
Metkovic.
testing my memory now. Oh, Andrew Albert coached us for a bit. So there's a
No, he's definitely not from
there's a good
Metkovic.
famous
He's
thing.
Florziga, I believe.
City name as well, Albert.
Florziga.
Albert
He's
family.
a Slavonec. Yeah, that's what I say.
And then I had Tom Zilic coached me too.
Tom Zilic, Konjic, or
Yeah.
thereabouts, around that neck of the
Yeah,
woods. So
that's
I'll claim
right.
that one. He's that's. Yeah,
So
he's one of ours.
my
So can you answer the question, please, Tony? Like, but so anyway, but David Licote is the same Paul Morgan.
Rash
That is one
Carter.
of my brethren. Yes, he is.
Paul
Yes,
Morgan,
he is. Yep, he's one of your brethren.
a
That's
great
right.
advocate for Victoria Police in
You
football
do know
as
his
well.
nickname that we gave him in the youth team when he joined
Well,
the
guys,
Knights?
nickname, are you allowed to say it, or are you going to get the door going to get kicked in here and you're going to get arrested? Fuck it.
Let me just say, very well endowed, right? So,
Right, thanks.
yeah. He got a Croatian nickname as a result.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
You might have to
point.
ask him.
Is that right?
No.
So,
Not allowed to say.
Margaret, maybe, or something.
Yeah. No, it starts with a P.
All right.
What else we got covered? There's also I'm on not even half of our socials and stuff. I'm more just waiting for the chat.
Oh, Bearbic
Cough
coached
stuff
his
up.
first title. Say it's Metkovic. There you go.
There you go, Metkovic and Metkovic.
All right.
Well, break it down further, Grigic, and tell us what sellers around Metkovic or what naselja are they from? Is it Jerkovac? Is it Crni Put? Is it? Let's split hairs here.
Tell us, which cellar in and around Metkovic eats the most froglings
And eels.
and eels? and that for the price of nothing.
That's right. Exactly right. Tell us that one, Mr. Grigic. And what are the famous Zadrani that have been in Melbourne Nights? Let's talk about our own. What about you? Is there any famous people from where you're from that played at Melbourne Nights or participated? Yeah.
I'm from Braybrook, mate.
Dougie Hawkins never played for Knights.
My mother, as you know, is from Tomislav. My dad from Foynica in Boston.
Who else is from Foynica? A very famous person that's come through Melbourne Nights and gone on to
from the same cellar,
bigger and better things.
Very close family friends as a result. We're from the same cellar. My dad and Josip Šimunic's father as well. He was the first man to own a Porsche in the cellar, a red Porsche back in the day.
Oh man, was first one to own a pair of shoes. Yeah, a Porsche in Boston. It was a rent-a-car from France that he fucking across the a Porsche in what year was this?
I'm going to find the photo. I've got a photo of it as well at my mum's house. So I'll send it through.
All right, this isn't after Simo ended up playing 10 years in Europe or whatever. This is like in the... Was it pulled by two donkeys or was it just a shell, a chassis?
Paid his way through AIF.
Hang on, what year is this?
Had no talent.
What year is this?
Oh, mate. I can't remember.
What decade?
It might have been after he went back on holidays.
Check it. Did he have a...
Was
he the first person...
Not when he was living
Oh,
there.
okay.
So he wasn't the first person in the cellar to have a Porsche. He was the first person from the cellar to own a Porsche.
I just imagine back
And bring it back
in the
to
70s and 40s, so you're driving around a Porsche.
I'll get the story right. I'll let you know.
I was in Debelak in 1997. There was 3 cars in the whole...
Or you
That
guys.
was right. That was right. Stoyadina was the only car.
Oh, no,
was the only car in the whole
There was
cellar.
about 200 Yugos. There's only 3 cars.
That's the correct answer.
Andrea says Desne. Yes, very good. They're now my new favourite people from Etkovic are from Desne.
Yeah, there you go.
That's right. Yuri Andrea, Desne is the place to go. Have they got a rowing team? Do they participate in that dragon boat thing?
Stop doing that.
Oh, there's another photo. There's an unfortunate photo. While we're still talking, you guys keep chatting. I'll
Yeah,
find
Paul
out.
and you know what? Speaking of, we were talking about that photo earlier on where Paul Mugditch was going skiing in that team shot. Wheelie didn't mind us so much. This is on topic anyway for that one.
But
We
we
gotta
will
look at-
find that lovely
Yeah.
photo. Thank you, Paul Mugditch, for sending that photo
Yeah.
through. And
That's what I'm saying. Like, what I wanted to say is that Paul Mugditch, I'm not surprised he's the one who spotted this and then saw this. And I'm actually disgusted in you. I'm just going to say that.
It's an outrage.
That's a little preface to
an
actually
outrage.
seeing this photo.
Isn't it great how we're all connected somehow? Like, you know, we
Yeah.
sort of grew up and we kind of find ourselves in the Portroom now.
It is, man. It's 1 degree of separation.
Yeah,
Everyone knows everyone who knows someone who's cool with somebody, whatever.
Yeah.
Like Marco Butorac reached out and told us about Joey Rados.
Yeah.
Talked to Joey Rados. He's got 3 cousins up in Gold Coast. One of those 3 cousins gave me that jacket that I wore yesterday on that real biz visit.
Yeah.
Because we're talking to Gold Coast.
Yeah.
I'll put on that jacket, the Gold Coast Old Boys jacket, to have the bloke from Canada tune in today, and that's their cousin that gave me that. It's a Lord Ditzer.
And speaking of
Thousands and
Gold
thousands
Coast, Smiley, didn't you and I get kicked out?
Let me tell you a story about the Gold Coast. So, was this after the gala?
And then we used Suda's name, didn't we?
I reckon it was after the gala. I'm
After
pretty
the
sure it was
gala.
earlier.
Me and Shooter McGovern here were so Happy Gilmore and Shooter were sharing a
We're
room
very happy.
at the Q. I think it was called the Q Hotel or Cube or whatever it is. And we had a few drinks, obviously, and we came back
No.
and we lit up a smoke out the front of the hotel. And the security came out and go, guys, you need to be at least 3 meters or 10 meters from the venue. And I go, all right, we moved out to the road, the street, and we started smoking. I happened to have a mouth organ in my pocket.
Just happened to have one.
Happened.
I love that mouth organ.
Just happened to have a mouth organ.
Just happened to have a mouth organ. And I started playing a couple of callers there. And we're singing and doing the old Cantonar dance, and it's all going good. I can't open the box. And security asked us, please, it's 4 a.m. or whatever, can you please make your way inside? If you're staying here, please eat the lech. Molim vas ko Boga, eat u krevet. We walk in, and as we walk through, the lovely security guard is walking us to the escalator, to the elevator. And Gavran does the old, do you know who I am? Does the old, does it, yeah, who I am. We're in room 803. If you want to find me, I'm in there. We get back to the hotel room and I go, go unpack your shit. We're out, man. We're getting kicked out of here. He goes, nah, man, it's all good. He goes to sleep. I'll pack my suitcase. 8 a.m., get a phone call from Auntie Stipik, Smolik, what the hell happened? I didn't want to dog you. I didn't tell him what happened, but I'll tell him now. I go, Government's pretty much got us kicked out. He goes, $500 bond is lost. So $250 each. That was the last $250 I had in my pocket. And he goes, now I've got to give him your names. Yeah, well, here we go. We're gonna reenact it. So it starts, have a smoke, and we get kicked out. And then he goes, all right, leave it with me. So he makes a couple of phone calls. Me and Governor make our way to another vacant room, obviously on the night. We get to spend another night there, even though we've officially been kicked out. And what does Stipper do? Should we reveal this?
Yes.
He put down two other people's names that were the responsible culprits. So Tsura and Mallards, I think it was, were the names that were given because they were leaving with their families that day to go to SeaWorld to do whatever they wanted to do. Following year, Tsura rings up the Q Hotel in Gold Coast. He goes, I'd like to book a family of 4. We'd like to come on holidays there. They go, sorry, sir, you're banned for life. You are banned. Yeah, what? He goes, you are banned for life from this establishment for your shenanigans that you did last year. So me and Gavin got off Scott, so I'm staying at the Q. I'm staying at the Q Hotel. And Tsura's going to have to wear a wig and a fake moustache, and he can stay with me if he wants. But absolute scenes. Those days, that was good times, man. Tawny's, like I said, if you've never been or if you're now old enough to be able to participate and get there, possibly without supervision, I'll tell you what, there is nothing like it.
That is absolutely true.
I think I've saved it.
Okay, I can see that one. Yeah, go.
Mouthpiece. I didn't have that in my pocket for like weeks.
Vaulted. Wolf. But this is so going back to Paul Magditch, I'm actually disgusted in you that you would actually bring this to our attention and that you would actually notice this sort of stuff. So
yeah, we are after a certain time, so it is. The kids have all gone to sleep, hopefully.
Yeah, sure.
Surely.
What time Centrelink opened?
Oh my goodness! Now let me have a look at Mr. Magditch's contribution to PodroomTV for this evening.
Yeah.
Now he reckons that I need to try again, contact support.
So I don't know if anyone's actually noticed, but right here in front of me, there's a bottle opener. So we grab the bottle and I'm over here and I'm opening the bottles, like for everyone so that we can enjoy in a civilized manner.
Cannot add image. Or I'm going to have to share the image.
Oh.
Let me see if I can share the image. I will share the image. There is a way.
Share we?
There is a way to screen share.
But anyway.
If I can screen share. Window.
Did you end up finding out what happened to that reporter from a few weeks ago? The reporter.
Savo Gubalat.
Oh, Savo.
We are now currently screen sharing. So are you able to see Buddha on the left? And you can say, look, I swear to God, I'm opening a bottle of Heineken. I'm opening a bottle of Heineken, regardless of what that looks like.
Yeah. Buddha doesn't want to look.
Buddha's
disgusted.
No, I'm a little bit shocked, but as the judges would say, I'll allow it.
Yeah. And lucky we strategically placed that bottle of Velebitsko in front there because Spolge also has the same nickname as Morgan. And so behind that.
I want to see that.
Did you see this?
I want to see that.
Oh, no, I want to see that. Not in my wife.
So I think it stopped sharing. We'll close that and we'll get back to Nekak or some normality. I think we're back. Hopefully, if someone can give us a shout out and say, look, we're back to it.
I think we're back to it, but I'm not sure yet. We've gone down to 3 viewers. No, we haven't. We're still watching, but
let's get back to Dandy City.
Yeah.
So Wednesday. So tomorrow you got off. You got work, obviously, but you can still. So what are you going to be doing?
Right?
You're going to be while you're at work. If you've got a bit of time, you're going to be writing things down. And there are the things in your head that you think, all right, maybe this will work in Heidelberg. Yeah. Do you feed that back to Nick Tolios and to the team and say, look, what do you reckon we try this? Are they receptive to ideas, or you kind of?
Of course, yeah. It's a collective effort. I do a lot of our analysis as well, leading into games and looking at the opposition. We've got another fellow that helps us out with that too. So some of that sort of working, remotely for us. That does a lot of
not a Malaysian bookmaker, isn't it?
No, he's local, but does a bit of groundwork for us as well. But we know the league inside out now, and we look at the previous games against them, but also look at their previous couple of games that they've played in the league as well. But they're pretty standard. They sort of play a 4-4-2 generally, and they play a pretty good brand of football. They got some really good individuals as well. So obviously Jamal Ali's been fantastic for them on the flank, but that'll be a real good duel with Valley Chesnick if he's on the same side. Bull Juarch is the top scorer in the league, so he's going to be a handful for us. We got Sabitnor on the other flank, who's played at Central Coast Mariners, and by all reports might be going back there potentially after the season as well. So they've got lots of good players. Lesiotis in the midfield. So the midfield battle is going to be really, really interesting. Going into yesterday's game, we thought that's where the game would be won or lost in the midfield, and I thought we nullified their three midfielders quite well yesterday, and it's going to be the same going into this week. Yokokawa and Aidara and Lesiotis. Lesiotis probably going to win the gold medal of being the player of the year this year, and he should easily be in an A-League setup. So I think it'll be won or lost in the midfield, and obviously if we can contain their forward three, it will go a long way to winning the game. By all reports, Benny Collins, who's one of their key centre backs, he came off at half time against Preston. So, yeah, I believe so. So obviously if he's not playing, that'll be a blow for them. But
He didn't get hit by Flair.
By Flair on the Choshkota.
He didn't spot out the Flair.
Yeah, so like I said, we'll do a bit of analysis on them a bit more, but we sort of know their strengths and their weaknesses, and we've been good on the counter as well in recent times. We can absorb pressure, we can apply pressure, we can set up high, we can set up a little bit deeper, defensively too. So we've got a few strings to our bow. We tweak things just slightly each week, but we're pretty consistent with the way we play as well.
Well, look, you've played already 26, 28 games or whatever it is for the season. Sunday, what's the day look like? What time do you get to Bob Jane? What happens when you get there? Do you walk out on the pitch and check the grass and then go back in? But is there warm-ups? Is it like for me? I haven't been on the inside of a big occasion for a long, long time, even as an outsider. Is it massages, physios? Is it warm-ups? Is it how does it work?
Well, again, we keep everything consistent all year, whether it's a league game or a knockout final or a grand final. But the interesting thing is there's 2 games before our game, so we're the last game of the day. So you've got the VPL 2 playoff who's going to go into VPL 1, and that's between Brunswick Juventus and
Brunswick City, I think. Was it Brunswick Juventus or Brunswick City?
So the VPL 2 into VPL 1 is Brunswick Juventus against Springvale White Eagles.
Oh,
so they're at midday though. That's an early game. And then the playoff to get into the VPL is Melbourne City versus Brunswick City, and that's at 3 o'clock, I believe. And then we're at 6. So, if they go to extra time and penalties, then we're not going to have a lot of time in between to get out and do our warm-up and stuff. But we generally get out about sort of 40 minutes before kickoff is when we go out and do our warm-up. So as long as they're finished, in 90 minutes, that'll be better for us. But if it goes to extra time and penalties, it might be a little bit of a tighter squeeze. But yeah, during the week, like I said, a lighter week, keep it simple, keep it, as Jimmy Tabakis would say, keep it simple. But yeah, a light per week, but we're still keeping our volume up there as well in terms of the kilometres that we need to cover to get us prepared for Sunday. I talked to Tolsy earlier tonight actually on the way here, and we might actually go to the club beforehand because, as you probably realise, the parking's a nightmare around that facility too. And if there's a lot of people coming and going, it's going to be hard to get parking. So we're trying to get them to allocate, at least for the coaches, where we can sort of get up nice and close. But we might go to the club because most likely we're going to end up there after the game anyway. So we might head down to the club and then get onto a bus, and all the players and coaches can go down there together, and that way we can get dropped off right in front of
hopefully Ben will sober up by then.
Hopefully, so that's possibly the plan, that we go in together and then obviously go back to the club afterwards as well. But other than that, nothing really different. We'll still send out our opposition analysis report to the boys in our group chat that we've got, and we sort of get them to read it and look at it in their own time, and then we'll sort of just touch on a couple of key points during the week as well at training. Like I said earlier, the club's probably going to put on a feed for us on Friday, hopefully again, just to keep that consistent as well. The best steak I've had in years. And that's it really. Keeping a lid on things, and not sort of making it, it is obviously a big occasion and we're going to enjoy it, but we just got to keep our feet on the ground and treat it like any other game.
And now I know tickets are available pre-purchase. It's come up today.
Yeah, it did.
Let me just have a look what's on the
It
dandy.
was, I think it was $30 for an adult to get in.
Actually.
But you get to watch 3 games if you want. You know, go.
Oh, if you want to go
Watch the
support,
Serbs.
Well, you want to go through
But barely-
Barely
on
on
the belly
Yeah,
on
he's there, Tuck, there. he's
Which is
present.
interesting, man. They won on penalties against Altona City, and that's where
They did.
Angelo Svalino and Nikola Jurkovic
Jurkovic,
played,
Altona
and
City.
they both took penalties, and they both scored their penalties, Nikola and Angelo, but unfortunately they lost on pens.
So Altona City have come a long way as well.
Tickets are on
Yeah.
sale for this Sunday's NPL Grand Final. Let's pack out Lakeside and make it a night to remember. Purchase via Intix. So it's intix.com.au and then search for it's event 2025 NPL Men's Grand Final information, etc. But Intix, intix.com.au. Jump on, buy your pre-purchase your tickets because look, there will be a Gurja there. There's 3 games, 3 promotion games and Grand Final. Obviously, so there'll be a fair few, a variety of people attending those games. So who's in that second final? Who'd you say? Melbourne City
Melbourne
and
City against
Brunswick City.
So yeah,
Where will Brunswick City play next year if they make the?
yeah, you wouldn't have
NPL?
thought they'd be able to play at
There is no
Dunstan
way
Reserve,
they
'cause
should have
that's-
even been playing VPL.
No,
at that
because that's just
facility.
an open park and people can walk in
That
from
is
all
a- that
directions,
is-
and it's not the greatest facility. Even the change rooms aren't great either. So that'd be interesting if they were to come up. And what a story though for them. if
Who's
they were to
around
come
there that they could possibly go have?
Northcote or Yarraville.
up. CB Smith, like the other 50 clubs that play at CB Smith Reserve. But yeah, that'll be
Or
an
even
interesting
CB
one.
Smith, yeah.
You know, maybe get the Knights to make a bit of extra cash and get them to play at Knights Stadium.
Well, that's probably a possibility
You
as
know,
well.
so but yeah, I think Melbourne City might get up over them. But yeah, Brunswick are a good side. We actually played them in the cup, in the Australia Cup, and beat them on penalties actually. So
That's
yeah.
right. I watched it. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then
right,
unfortunately
yeah.
we lost to South in the next round. That was to get into the round of 32. We lost that on pens as well. So, so yeah, so you wouldn't think they're going to draw a massive crowd. So Melbourne City doesn't draw a crowd in the A-League.
Oh no!
Come
I know,
up-
but it's
come
just
on,
but it's 3
30
games
crowds,
trying
still
to
3
beat.
games. Yeah, you'll think a few Serbs will come, but that's a 12 o'clock start, that one. And Brunswick Juventus, who knows what they've got in terms of the old supporters that might
They
come
still
out, but hopefully
Well, it'll be good. That'll be good to see him come up. Like you're looking a bit, getting a bit nostalgic, saying look, a bit of a rivalry.
yeah,
It'll be
all
good
of
to
a sudden
see
they'll
that
be in with the Knights and
Yeah,
North Geelong
that's
and,
right, yeah, coming up. But you want to get a ticket early, maybe to get to the game. The sight lines there at Lakeside. You want to get something that's within 100 metres of the touchline.
Yeah,
You know, it was
Is there a
all the-
designated area? If anyone can reach out and tell us, is there a designated area for dandy people? If it's not a requirement by FV that we've got to sit in one particular spot, is there anywhere you'd like us to meet as a community and as supporters of Dandy City? Is there anywhere you want us to go? Whether it's the right-hand side of the grandstand, left, I don't know if they even open the other side anymore. They have for some games.
they
Preston.
have, yeah, Preston they did. Yeah,
I've never
but,
stepped foot on the other side of their ground.
No,
Old Middle Park, I did. We used to
Yeah.
sit on the other side of the ground,
That's
but then
right.
it's all been pretty much a grandstand, and that's it. And that concrete area in front of the grandstand.
listen, I'd like to think that we're going to get enough crowd that they're going to open both sides.
You'd hope so.
You know, obviously Heidelberg's going to bring a fair few as well. So yeah,
Put Heidelberg on the other side, and we get the camera side so that the Narod can see what
See how
Dandy
fast-
City.
Don't look at me.
Dandy City.
Yeah.
But yeah, in all seriousness, if we were able to get 5,000-6,000, during those Australia Cup games when the Knights played Adelaide and
That's
And
right.
obviously, when Dinamo played Perth back in the day, like there's no reason why
No.
we can't get that many at this,
Absolutely right.
this week as well. On
Yeah.
top of some Heidelberg supporters,
Yeah,
so
that's
hopefully we
right.
can get a big turnout because it is a big day for the community and not only for Dandy but all Croatians as well. So
Well, the Strathmore Old Boys at the tourney last year at Dinamo got about 2,500 to their final against
Yeah,
Melbourne
there you
Knights,
go.
which is fantastic. Which is
and obviously Strathmore split and Dandenong's Haylook, so there's that connection.
You
there
can't
as well.
compare. You can't compare those two. Like, those are a much bigger event.
no, you can't compare. I think that split had a bigger crowd than
Yeah.
what Orient had against BSK last. Another local / international news.
Mhm.
Overnight or within the last couple of days, NK Vodice. NK Vodice, which I think now belong to Šibenska Kninska Županija, beat HNK Zadar 2-0,
Yes.
with one of the goal scorers for NK Vodice being no other than Mirko Crnac.
Okay.
So Doyle and Rosie's
Yeah.
boy Mirko,
No
playing for
way.
NK
Been out there for a
Vodice,
couple
scored
of years
against
now, yeah.
Zadar, who was at Melbourne Knights here only a few years ago, has spent some time overseas. He was the second goal scorer in a 2-0 win over HNK Zadar. So NK Vodice 2-0 victors. I'm not sure how they win their first round, but that's a big win
That's huge.
for them because I've
Yeah.
played against Vodice many, many times. It's a fantastic place to visit on the beach. Fantastic. But young Mirko, Michael, Mickey, whatever you want to call him,
Yeah.
Mirko scored
Beautiful, yeah.
in that game. So in a senior senior game, scoring against Zadar, which is absolutely fantastic for him, and good to see him doing good things overseas as well. Old Knights
Yeah,
boy,
I
Melbourne
coached
boy.
me, of course. So, as a 15-year-old, I gave him his debut in the 21s at the time. So, quite young too, and he played a number of games for me at the Knights as well. And he's got really good work ethic and dedication. He really wants to succeed. So, he's gone over there and taken the punt, and he's been there for a couple of years now, I believe.
Yeah, so he's at Shibenik, I think, for a bit as well. And
yeah, good on him. Like I said,
Yeah.
right attitude as long as he keeps working. Anything can
you
happen.
find somewhere, you get the crack and you show yourself, because there's footage. The other guy that scored, I think he scored some ridiculous volley, scissor kick or whatever it was, came back from injury, and no doubt Mirko's goal is also able
That
to be.
means he scored against Harvey's side, did he?
He did, yes. Father Yusuf, a director of NK or HNK Zadar over there, with some heavy involvement from some people from Sydney there, Tony, Sam Krshlovic and Ivancic, I think, that owns those franchises, etc. Yeah, but Mirko, fantastic to see him getting on the score sheet there in what would have been a
Is that Harnell too or not?
no.
I think it's 40.
Three. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's
sorry.
Yulg, if it's kind of split into north and south
It
and
is.
east.
I
or
think it's
whatever
a
else.
4. Yeah, it's a 4 east.
Yeah, pretty much the league that I've played in back in the day, but I understand it.
It's definitely 4th tier. I know. It's
Yeah,
fourth
so
tier,
Mirko, great on scoring your first goal. I scored my first goal when I was drunk in it. Like, against Pakistan. No, it's a tough league. There is a lot of players that could have gone on to bigger and better things, or it's either on their way up or on their way down. But either way, it's a very, very it's Šibensko, Kninska with Zadar, with Dubrovnik, all the way up probably into some of those places around Pag. And that.
Yeah.
It's a very rich vein of talent that is available in those leagues, all trying to break through and make their names for themselves. It's a tough league, some tough away games. I saw overnight, I think it was what's it called, Dinara Knin versus Zagora Unešić.
I've never even heard of it.
Exactly right. Imagine going to play in Zagora, you don't even know where Unešić is.
No, I have no idea.
That's right.
Actually, I admit.
I've been there, I don't know where it is.
Ask Tony Goodrich.
Tony Grgić, name 2 coaches from Zagora Unešić from Metković. Go and do that one.
Treći Jug.
Treći Jug.
There you go.
But good on young Mirko there. So it's fantastic. And I saw him posting and liking some of the celebrations from Melbourne Knights under 17s overnight as well.
There's a few
good on
Croatian
you.
Australians doing well at the moment. And
Yeah, very.
Socceroos now too. So
Yeah, that's right. Made the team now.
Second, and we're hoping again. Rob Linnett's coming to the party. His nephew is young. Is a Pavlicic, the goalkeeper that was at Bayern, who has now gone to I think Rudesh,
Okay.
to try and get a crack there, and hopefully he makes a go of it as well. But very, very talented young goalkeeper. We'll try and get him on the show as well to have a bit of a chat.
try and get Joey on.
Simo,
Well, we can have a conversation with him. More than happy
I'll,
to do
ask
so.
him if he wants to.
I know someone who's got a pretty close ties with.
yeah.
So.
Who's Steve Lukasic?
Well, yeah, I know 2 people have got.
Sluggy, cheerio.
but I'm been trying to Paul Mugdich, who often frequents Mark Viduka's cafe up there outside of Zagreb, he's Shestin now, I believe. So they often catch up with Simo and Viduka and Ajic and some of Basila, some of those boys.
Yeah,
So
they're all good
maybe
now,
do a big group panel show, get them all in the one cuffage. We've got to get them at a time when they can drink. You know? I don't want to see them sipping, the macchiatos and shit.
No.
Get on the hard stuff.
That's it.
Check it. Where's the one that's it's not even here. The one that Spol's brought it. Gorky Palinko. It's the other one.
The Gorky.
That is liquid death.
That's pretty Gorky as well.
This one, this is liquid. Materno mlijeko. Yeah, Gorky.
I can't wait till your conversation tomorrow with your mum.
Samo ti toči.
Yeah.
Stella, I'm not forcing anybody. But
Oh my God. Enough. No, don't.
Nemoj stati.
Have to drive you home, man.
Yeah.
But
Here we go.
what does the future hold for Mr. Tommy Governor? So you're looking to stick around. Obviously, Dandy, you've done fantastic things. You've been a big part of that as well. So no doubt you're going to stick around. But let's say someone knocks on the door. There's another club, maybe a senior opportunity. Is it something you'd be open to? You don't have to say for certain now, but is it something you'd consider? Obviously, you'd love to have a senior role somewhere down the track, or
I think that's my ultimate goal, to get back into that senior environment in terms of being a head coach. Obviously in that senior environment now, but you got to weigh things up sometimes. You want to be, an assistant in a successful side, or do you want to get a head job in a team that might struggle? Or
I'd love to get a head job in it.
I was going to let that one. I was going to let it slide. I was gonna let that one slide, but then you took that one with both hands. Show me.
So that's why you're like, okay. I thought you coach because you love football. But
That was like a little video. I saw that you put on PodroomTV with a monkey on Father's Day.
That's going on the one. I don't know how to do reels yet, but I've got to clip that one and put it in.
Yeah,
But anyway, back to,
But obviously it's got to be the right club in the right environment, and I don't want to drop sort of lower divisions. I've sort of worked hard to get to this level, and I want to sort of stay at this level. So whether it's an opportunity with another NPL side, or maybe even VPL 1 or 2, but I wouldn't want to sort of go lower than that as a head coaching role.
No.
But at the same time, I'm happy.
you wouldn't want to blow it. You say you wouldn't want to blow.
wouldn't want to blow my.
You want to blow the job that you've been offered. If
I don't want a big load,
hypothetical,
I
hypothetical,
don't want a bigger load than what I've got now.
hypothetical.
But I'm happy where I am at the moment.
Hypothetical. You get a phone call on Wednesday. Tony Topcic, Tony Kolchek ring you up and go, listen, boy, Tommy, Melbourne Knights, VPL next year. We're looking for a senior coach. We're looking to reboot, restart. You've been a part of a successful campaign or a couple of campaigns now with Dandy City who've made their way up from, like you said, you weren't there when they made their way up, but you've obviously been with teams that have been up and down.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Well, Tony did call me after we had beat him 7-1. He wasn't happy for us, putting that many past them. But, you never say never. You'd have to obviously listen and, explore the opportunity if it was presented, But like I said, I'm happy where I am at the moment. There is that sort of itch to get back to that sort of position and having that final say with team lineups and doing the pre and post game and sort of halftime talks and having a bigger say in how you set up for the day. But I still have that involvement and a say in that respect as well. But like I said, it's a tough one because I am happy where I am at the moment. We're sort of we've been in talks with the club as well, and we just want to get through the final series, and then we'll talk after that as well. And by all reports, they want to keep us on. Why would you not keep a stable team of coaches on board after the 3 years of success that we've had? And we've probably had success sooner than what the club expected. So it's probably been a longer term plan to have that success. And we made the finals last year, and if we went that one step better this year, then that was going to be a success. And now we're obviously in the grand final, and now we don't want to leave any stone unturned. So get through this week. And then weigh up the options, I guess. And but like I said, I'm happy where I'm at the moment, and it'd have to be a pretty good offer to prize me away from the club.
Two comments. Mio Marinovic reckons it was the call of the year.
I wonder what that was. The call of the year. But
I'll have to edit that one out. Otherwise, YouTube.
You reckon? Yeah. Well, it'd be good if you could give us an in-depth response, actually, not these short responses.
But players,
You're going to taunt your response.
yeah. So you sort of already started maybe talking, or they leave it to the end of the season. What about players, player-wise? Do they sometimes try to, with NPL, I'm not even sure how the contract system works.
Yeah.
Do they try and sign them up now for next year?
Yeah.
Or get a handshake? Or is it they wait until the end of the season and go, right, you're in, you're out? Like,
luckily, most of our boys are re-signed. A lot of boys you can sign for 2 years now. So we've got a lot of boys that are on 2-year contracts. So you go on pro contracts now. So it has changed.
Okay.
That landscape has changed where you can sign them on pro contracts. So we've got a lot of boys who are already committed to next year. There's a couple of boys that are on that sort of 1-year deal that the club wants to speak to. But again, speaking to Evie earlier today as well, look, we want to keep pretty much the bulk of the squad. If we've had this much success and there is a good vibe in the change room, you don't want to break that, right? So, but obviously you need to add every year and strengthen where you can. And but first priority would be to sign everyone up, and obviously, like I said, some are already committed anyway, and then try and add to it again next year.
Any Western United players that might be available for signing?
Potentially. So we get a lot of players coming across our sort of our books, I guess, and in our phones, and a lot of discussions are had. But sometimes a lot of players are choosing to go to some of these championship teams now, the B League, let's call it. So some teams are opting to choose those teams because of that sort of that pool, I guess.
But do you actually, by winning the champion, by winning the final, do you actually get an invitation into it, or is it?
No, it's funny. I actually posed that question last night, and it's only for the minor premiers. So it's
Okay.
not for the grand final winners. So yeah, that sort of came up in our chat group
Which
last night
makes
with the coaches.
perfect sense, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Let's have a
correct.
grand final, but let's not.
Yeah, not
you know,
allowed. So yeah, obviously once we win the final on Sunday, it'd be great if we were to be added to that because Canberra, Croatia has made it into
That's right.
some other clubs, but they were the minor premiers. They lost on the weekend actually, their first final.
They did. They've got a game.
Yeah.
I did have a. Oh my
So,
god! I didn't put
they
their
got a
flyer
double
up.
chance, obviously,
But they do have. They do have Canberra. Call them Canberra Croatia now. That's what they're
Yeah,
officially
they are referred to as
called.
Canberra
Where is it?
Croatia.
I did have it. I saved it. Goodness gracious me! But they're playing Monaro. I think it's Monaro. I'm not sure how they
Not Fairmont Gear.
pronounce. No, I always call them
Falcon,
Inter,
yeah.
Inter Monaro, but
Falcon.
they're obviously called something,
Yeah.
some other pronunciation. Canberra.
Tony Grigic's going to bed because he has to get up at 4:45
Hey, do
to
you
watch
know,
Croatia play.
funny
Montenegro.
story,
Long
Tony
night of-
Grgic coached me in juniors, like way back when I
Coach
was,
me at Glenroy Split,
yeah,
mate.
a long time ago, Tony Grgic and Tony Korchek coached me as well.
Mate, they're all-star
Yeah.
lineup, but I cannot find for the life of me now where it is. But they do have another kind of a reboot final.
Yeah,
to make it through. They lost to Tigers, I think it was 3-2.
Kuma Tigers, wasn't it?
But they're now playing against Monaro, and if they can win that one, I think they go back into the grand final, however it
Back in
works
the
in
final, I
Canberra,
think, yeah. I think it's-
and give it another crack. So not only hopefully they can win the league and get a spot in the championship, which they've already
yeah,
got,
they've already got, yeah.
and see how they go. And they're doing some, I think, capital works there, from what I believe. They're going to be doing some work around the ground, the stadium there,
Yeah.
so that might be coming up for them as well.
No, it's a good setup there. But yeah, what else?
Well, I don't know. We've been here for 3 hours, so I'm not sure what else.
But
But
sit here for another 3 hours.
yeah, I
Check the
know.
last of the
You see
messages.
why this goes for this lot? Now that you've been here and you're seeing this, and people go, "Well, wait, would you 4 hours?" Can you see how easy this
So easily,
happens?
I'll be back next Monday.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, if
It's-
when we're in the grand final, we might come back on next Monday.
Oh, that's okay. Straight from Dandy.
I think
Yeah.
I'll be taking Monday off.
So Paul Mugditch is asking, did you share the pic of you and Rob's bottle opener?
Are
Yes,
you
I did.
watching?
He said he's between watching and texting and all this sort of stuff, and he's not very nice what I said about his hand, or you said about his hand on small goes the leg, whatever it was. So
that
yes, I know. That,
Yeah.
Yeah, pause it up, Mug Bitch.
there you go.
No, you know what, Paul? It's lovely that you're actually tuning in all the way from Zagreb.
Yeah.
Love having you
Didn't know they
part
had
of
the
it.
internet over there.
Yeah, there you go. You know what? The internet's better than it is here. I'll tell you now. You were trying to send messages
mate,
over there.
I
You
can't
couldn't
send
get
message,
it.
I got Optus.
Just checking if there's anything else. Not really. I reckon that's about all in terms of messages and stuff. I might have missed something. The only thing I want to do as we wrap up, I've got the USB. I will be putting up the clip that was sent through to us from Stepan Takac last night as Latne Žice
Yeah.
in Požega with
Yeah.
the Cheerios from Gazde and a couple of other people and some of the footage that we got there. Time to wrap it up. No worries, Rose. I'll be there.
Ima gost, mate. Ima gost.
Gosti su tu, nemoj čovjeka tirati. Tek je došao, kuda već?
Nemo me srami tu.
I'm waiting for the kolache.
Kuda već. But what I will do now is hopefully be able to, because before it wouldn't let me load that photo. So I'm thinking maybe it's some sort of a maximum of able to load shit because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
fingers crossed it works. Upload video. Ajmo sad vid. Maybe oće. Gazde.
And so, what do you hope
I
for, like,
see.
from a team point of view, like a vocal crowd? You want to hear them out there? What do you want to hear them singing?
The crowd was awesome on the weekend. So
Yeah.
there was obviously about 100, 120 of them that came on the buses as well, and they created an awesome atmosphere. Without them yesterday, it would have been about 40 people there, I reckon. So yeah, loud, proud.
Like
Lots
even
of colour.
even the family club couldn't even
Oh,
convince their own families to come and watch them
chant.
yesterday.
Got one here.
There was a really good chant.
I won't name who the person is that sent through this message. But Tony Grgic coached my brother's team only for half a season and was shown the door, and I took over for the rest of the season. So how many brothers you got?
How many brothers have I got? Actually, none, actually. I haven't even heard from him. He doesn't even wish me well for your games. Tony Calava's my brother more than my actual brother.
But,
Is he still overseas at the moment?
Tony, no, he's here.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah,
All
he's
right.
here.
after he won
Yeah,
the
took it-
last man standing raffle?
Yeah, he hasn't seen his money yet, but
But he had a mighty football outcome.
Oh,
Do you remember that?
He was everyone's idol back at Loyola College. If you wanted a mullet, his was the
It was amazing.
it was that
He was all business at the front.
it was a
Yeah,
duck.
and it
We
was-
called it a duck's ass. Yeah, I'll show you the putka here. Check the skin. You see those feathers on a duck's back? The ones that go like that? They're the duck's ass.
that's Tony Calava.
They overlap
Yeah.
perfectly in symmetry.
It was,
Tony Calava
it
had
was,
the
it was
perfect.
incredible.
It was a Dutch ass of epic proportions.
Surely you know the puzzle story about Maria Calava getting him off the stage. His sister.
But one of the very famous Bandura boys. There are a lot of Bandura boys that have passed through our community and left an indelible mark. Tony Tunjashevich of Penley Constructions. Who else? There's
That's
plenty.
right. That's right. There you go.
Stephen Carlucci, Pep, one of my best
Fala
mates.
Boga, we've got a neighbour of mine, Dennis Gollum, who watches and listens into the Podrum, which unexpectedly, and sends you messages of encouragement and feedback, which is absolutely fantastic.
Jason Bucutting was back and forth from Greensboro and St Albans as well.
There you go. So there's a lot of us in the north as well. So we celebrate the southeast. It'll come up.
The Garnoviches, are they?
Well, they're the Greensboro, aren't they?
The Gurgas are Borough boys.
Yeah.
Originally from Tomo.
Oh, there you go.
It is
Julian
processing.
Lombards came in. Evening, gents. Finally got to tune in. The last half an hour. Thank you for the shout out to HFS Zagreb Wollongong, 50th anniversary. Keep up the good work. Marcus, can the next Podroom live stream be a gym vlog? No one wants to see that.
Is he put his surname there? Because I know who he is.
No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. He hasn't.
We're going to do a session before the podcast, so you're invited. I'll show you some of the routines that I look at. Look at this. I can move and check it.
You actually
Look at that shit.
Oh, no.
Hey, do you want to take the top? Do you want to take
No, but it's actually wonderful in the top. That's a wonderful top
That's
that
in
can be
memory of the-
purchased.
that's
They
in memory of
can
the
be
Hulkster.
purchased over at
the
Strathmore
stripes?
Square.
The stripes insinuate my shoulders, and my boobies just on it.
That's in memory of the Hulkster.
Oh, with the music on.
But yes, I will have Marcus on. Get some rubbish bin lid. Let me see if this video has actually come up. Maybe if I get it's processing 86%. We'll get there
We're there.
because when that video looks like it's
Oh.
processed, it has processed.
It's processed.
But before then, we're not going to go just yet.
We're only organic here.
We've only just started. But Tommy Governor, what an absolute gentleman.
Yeah.
Great to have you on the
Some
show.
would argue that.
But actually, good luck. Who we got? Who we got here? We've got no more chat coming through my thing because I don't know if this is linked to the whole.
Everyone's got sputty.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yes, tipo 4:45 kickoff. You got plenty of time, man. Good
I
says
know.
what did
I know.
Thanks for Porcelli.
I know. You know what we've got to do before we do wrap it up? We've got to do one chant.
A
Just
chance.
for the- just one.
We've only got two chances at the end.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We're going to do the only one. You go with Dandy City. Ole, ole, ole. Ole, ole, ole. Ole, ole, ole. Dandy City. Ole, ole, ole. Ole, ole, ole.
You'll see. Clarissa will go, shh, I've got one thing to say. There's only
One Dandy. One Dandy. Walking along, singing a song, walking in a dandy wonderland. There's only one dandy.
There's our two chants.
That's it.
And that's usually Sonny that leads the
Yeah,
chant.
Sonny
Sometimes
was there yesterday.
Sonny
in fine
Clinton. He was there. He was in
yeah,
the
he's in fine form
thick of it.
yesterday. Yeah.
He used to be 12. Now he's not 12. Now he's like
He's
2 meters tall.
22 now, I think he is. 21,
and he also managed to. He happened to play a game with his Uyats,
Mhm.
Topper,
Yep.
also famous dandy boy.
Yep.
They ended up playing together. What club were they at?
They're at Dufton at the moment.
Dufton.
Yeah.
So uncle with nephew played,
Calmer's the coach there.
and Cal was the coach.
Yeah, we got
there
a
you
few
go.
boys on loan there as well.
There
And
you go.
Dufton, and then both did shots after the game.
Oh, did shots off.
Lots of good boys down at Dandy. Yeah, you got Scolzy and his brother, and
Incredible. So Tomo, I don't know if it came up on the footage.
Clarica and the boys, and
Yeah, Tomo
Yeah.
popped up there. Timo, Tim Šimunić was on the microphone singing, I think, at one stage. Stabber, I think his nuptials are coming up very soon.
Yesterday, yeah, he's
Um,
stuffed up the game against Thunder. He had his Bucks night last week.
Yes,
That's
but
nice to
Mio,
see,
Mio was crook as a dog, so I was going to get him to get me footage off the bus, Mio Albert, but he was absolutely no good. Health-wise, his
Didn't see him yesterday.
flu
no.
or whatever it was, so he couldn't make it. But Luca Muniverano came through with the goods, and he
Luca
sent
was
through
there, yeah,
plenty
Luca was
plenty of footage. And
Thank you.
thank you. He's looking for another Bandura boy. There you go.
Yeah.
We're like the AX Amsterdam of the Croatian community.
Yeah.
Bandura. We just kept churning
I thought it
out
was the Beverly Hills of the
talent.
world.
This side of the Darabin Creek bridge on McLean's Road. Yes, is it McLean's Road? Yeah.
There's
On the other side, where Calava was from, that was the Bronx.
That was-
Dennis and John
yeah,
Marinovic and
yeah,
Anita
okay.
Marinovic.
He hasn't ended up very
Compton.
well, has he, Kalava?
No, they'll
Poor
hack
poor
something.
man. He's a poor man,
Peter
isn't
Storlich should become the financial controller of some massive international company. No, yeah, none of those people made anything. It was all us. And me, Luka Munivrana, the Yuka boys, Tony Gospic, who has Ray and Rob and Darren Kožul, grew up
Yes.
around the corner from my joint.
Casuals, yeah.
Who has Davor Čurković, another great man, and Pokoni Paško, his old man.
What happened to,
Chucky,
what happened to your mate?
Tim
Bernard?
Mustovic, Bernard Nemeth.
Oh,
Bernard.
yes, I remember Bernard.
His boys go to my kid's school. He's
Yeah.
fun
I've seen
just
Bernard for a
around
long time,
Mate, remember
actually.
we went to Croatian school together
Yeah,
at one
yeah.
stage, and then
Yeah,
he
cool, man.
had
Cool,
a
man.
bit of a kerfuffle,
Yeah,
and then
Cool,
never
man.
saw him
Still being
again.
local.
Bashed a few serves, and then never saw him again.
As we do. What'd you do on Saturday? You go to school? I bashed a few
Yeah,
serves.
he did.
Yeah.
Fitzroy City College, I remember.
That's great.
We had Crow school there, and yeah, bashed a few serves, and never saw him again after that.
Good times.
Memories.
Yeah.
Do you learn how to speak Crow? No,
And great classic kids.
You know how to speak Crow? You go to Crow school? No, but jeba sam nekom Srbinu mater. Nema problema.
Oh, I got a good story for about Crow school.
Oh,
I have a lot of good stories about Crow school. But-
I got no stories about Crow school.
Yeah.
I didn't go to Crow school. I just want to drink Palinkowitz.
Yeah,
As you
I
thought,
saw
my
that.
real.
That was wonderful.
I tried to speak Crow, and then my appointment, I'm trying to read off the back of this thing. I had a text in it.
But I get sponsorship from Badel or Maraska.
Maraska for sure.
Like
Ljudi moji iz Zadra, ako slušate i ako gledate, ako Maraska još postoji i proizvodi i bilo kakve ove,
Ne treba nam puno. Bilo šta.
pošaljite koju gajbu, bocu, što ja znam,
Bilo
boksu,
šta.
kutiju, karton, Pelinkovca, Orahovca, lugri, samo naše pijemo, vidi.
Je.
Ovo je ovo. Pošaljite nešto, bare neku majicu ili neku zastavicu, nešto. Da možemo-
Nešto.
Bilo što?
Bilo šta.
Ne, ovo, i znaš što smo dobili? Ovo, evo. Ovo smo dobili. Šipak. Fucking, i nemoj mi šipak poslati. Ne send me some fucking čaj. For šipak. I'm not asking for šipak. I'm asking for pelin and for orah.
Kamilica.
Jer meni stomak boli.
A žena mi je rekla, popit ćeš ti kamilicu. Yeah.
Sa rakijom.
All right. Last call for any last messages. Idemo ča, ljudi moji.
Ništa.
Dižemo se ujutro. Nekom je radit, nekom je spavat, nekom je pripremat se
neko
za
obavlja.
finale of the NPL Victoria at 6 p.m. Lakeside Stadium,
Yes, hvala.
Dandy City v Heidelberg United, 6 p.m. Whether you're at the Crow Cup, whether you're at some ručak, engagement, charisma, pričest, whatever it is, get
Cancelled.
down. 6 o'clock, pre-purchase your tickets, we recommend, so that you don't have to wait in line and zafrkavati with cash and
Yeah.
coins and cards.
No. We haven't got time for that.
Pre-buy your tickets, intix, intix.com.au. Jump on the Dandy site website, Dandy City website, socials, etc. You'll find the exact link. Buy your tickets up front. So ease your way in. Jump on a tram if you're coming from the city. Go down Clarendon. Jump off at that pub. Again, if anyone can tell me what that pub's called, Cricketer's Arms or whatever it is. Popite pivo. Head
Budite
down to the game.
pristojni.
Budite pristojni.
Don't be shy.
Don't be crazy mangra. Nego budi gentlemen's.
Please.
Yeah, don't go throwing flares and shit at goalkeepers like what we saw on Thursday, because I reckon Heidelberg should personally be thrown out of the league.
I think so too.
I reckon Heidelberg shouldn't have been playing on this. By forfeit, it should be Preston, because it was a Heidelberg home game.
Yes.
Security was lax.
Yes, it was.
The temporary fencing was a disgrace.
It was.
It was reminiscent of a building site from 1963.
Yeah, it was.
And so I blame.
And apparently that wasn't agreed upon either. Like,
No.
I just
beforehand.
caged
A
in.
few things.
How many eggs did they collect afterwards? Ja, tarabakat. All right, ljudi. Tommy Gavran, thank you so much for joining us in the
just
Podrum
a
tonight.
final call to arms, I guess, and implore everyone to come out and support the club. Like I said earlier, we're all Croatian, and we've got to get up on our jersey, and yeah, it's a big occasion for the community. So come out and support. A lot of good people at the club who have put a lot of hard work, and obviously some good major sponsors as well that enable us to do our thing with IND, obviously, and Kathy and Ivan Filipovic, but not only them, there's a number of other key contributors to the club as well. So come out, support the boys, put on a good show off the field, and hopefully we'll put one on the field for us, and then come back to the club and celebrate and make more history.
So from the good people from Dandy City to the shit people in PodroomTV, we thank you for joining in and tuning in. Love having you here, and till next week. Hopefully, we'll be here celebrating a Dandy City win.
And I
Made 'em.
believe it's an RDO for if you are on the
is it?
building sites,
I'm gonna
then
take
the
Monday.
Monday is an RDO. because I
Yeah,
think
a Robert day off.
a Robert day off.
Yeah, there you go.
Really, you can call it whatever you like, but either way. But I think that's why the last man standing and all that was also organised, so that it's a Monday.
We
is
could have
off.
some other people not working as well. It's
Well,
not to hang out with.
Yeah, well,
Well, if I am working tomorrow, I'll probably get sent straight home. But yeah, no, definitely. If Monday is off for many of you people that do work for the fantastic R&D group. Get down to the game, enjoy it, make it a spectacle for our community. So that on Monday morning, instead of reading that they're throwing flares at the Heidelberg keeper, we're throwing streamers and celebrating a fantastic win. If not, celebrating our community and celebrating Dandy City for the massive effort of getting to a VPL or an NPL grand final.
it could be
And
a historic weekend.
Historic. It is already historic for getting where they are. And let's go one more step if we can. Either way, let's make it a fantastic weekend for our community to come together from all sides of Victoria. If you're here from interstate, I'm pretty sure Petar Finko is coming down to Melbourne this weekend. I think he was coming down for the Crow Cup. Come down via the Podroom if you want. Come here for a drink first. We'll go down to Dandy City, Nema Problema. Let's get down there in numbers.
We'll see you there anyway.
Bring your colours, bring your scarves, bring your flags. Doesn't matter if it's Dinamo Knights, North Geelong, whoever it is, Split, Zadar, Tornado, Bunker, Torcida, get down, get behind Dandy City, and let's make some noise. Let's make some atmosphere and see the boys over the line. Fingers crossed, they win the whole thing, and we go well into the evening and well into the next day to celebrate. And then the boys can finally get down to the club. Don't worry about the steak. Get on the piss and hey, the Mishka.
Oh, that'll be an amazing night. Amazing night. You will never remember. So,
Ljudi moji, laku noć. Thanks to our other guests, also Anthony Puljic from Gold Coast and to Joey Rados from Hamilton, Croatia, for joining us live from Zagreb as well. It's been fantastic. To our Bero, who joined us for an interview last night, and everyone else that sent in stuff from Braća Radić, from Wollongong, from Crow Studies Foundation, from all over. Luka Monirana for all your footage from the night as well. Thank you, Melbourne Knights, Nick Pucic and Tony Topcic. Fantastic. Thanks for all your contributions. It makes the show tick. The more info and the more stuff we get from interstate and all over Victoria, the better the show will be and the more interesting it is. So thank you all very much. Laku noć. And now from Stepan Takac, who was in Portugal last night with the media pass. He got behind the scenes. We've got a short clip of some of the people he got to speak to and some of the footage that he got. So hopefully this works, and we'll see you all next week. Same bat time, same Palinkvaš channel.
lijepi pozdrav, Bobo.
Se ovo radi.
Ne.
Hoće li ovo?
Hoće li?
Iruda Magarsa. Let's have a look again.
A pleasure,
Zlate
boys.
strune, all right. Let's see, yeah.
That's like Richard always got. Daj mi, donesi mi.
Pozdravljam sve gledatelje Podrum TV-a. Javljamo se danas ovdje iz... Pozdravljam sve gledatelje Podrum TV-a. Javljamo se danas ovdje iz Požege sa festivalom Zlatne žice 2025. Nastupamo sa pjesmom Prekrasno za ljubav i uskoro možete vidjeti i novi spot za tu pjesmu. Pozdrav svima u Australiji. Lijep pozdrav svima, ja sam Dinko iz Kasa i pozdravljam sve Hrvate u Australiji koji gledaju Podrum TV. Ljudi, uživajte.
neka sudi, pjeva